From One Hub Stadium in Brisbane, good evening everyone and welcome to the Australian Baseball League on Bandits.tv. Tonight we continue round 8 as the Bandits play host to the Canberra Cavalry. With Australian silver medalist Paul Gonzalez, I'm Eric Bramer. Thanks for making us a part of your evening. The Bandits, in their quest for their 5th consecutive championship, have had a couple false starts this season, but now they've won 3 straight games, and last night they set the tone with a convincing victory over the Cavalry.
Well, they absolutely did. I mean, last night, 11 hits. They played flawless defense, and that's probably one of the big game changers is just the restructure of this defense. It's a completely new look in the infield, and I think it's a game changer for the Bandits.
The Bandits now are tied with the Cavalry for the 5th and final spot in the playoffs with 11 games to play, 7 of which will come here at home. On the mound tonight for the Bandits is Corey Taylor. He's been brilliant. 5 wins and 2 losses, an ERA of 3.67. His mound opponent is a rising star in American baseball, Philip Pfeiffer, the lefty who was just added to the Braves 40-man roster. This should be a good pitching matchup.
It will. I mean, Taylor's thrown the baseball extremely well this year, but Bandits will have their hands full with a very tough lefty on the bump tonight.
Cavalry lineup begins with Robbie Podorski. Podorski, the center fielder, will be followed by Cam Warner and Tucker Nathans. First pitch is ripped to left center field, and it falls for a base hit. Picked up on a hop by Mitch Nielsen. Rounding first on his way to second is Podorski, and he is safe. Sliding around the tag. A double on the first pitch of the game, and the Bandits beg to differ.
We'll get a chance to see the replay right here. One thing I'll give him credit, as soon as that ball's hit, he is out of the blocks and off to the races. Comes out, good strong throw to second base. The ball actually beats him, but possibly the tag, and that's probably what they're saying right there. So Shields is right on the play and calls him safe. So that's a big leadoff double for Canberra Cavalry.
That was the second baseman Grant Kay who dropped down the tag. Mitch Nielsen in left field was a late replacement. He was originally going to be the designated hitter. Wade Dutton out with a crick neck. Here's a bunt towards third, picked up by Darville. 2 pitches in the ballgame. 2 at-bats have been completed as Cam Warner completes the sacrifice, pushing Podorski to third.
And that's something we don't see a lot at this ballpark early in a ball game. So it shows Canberra wants to put runs on the board. They're very confident on the guy they have on the mound tonight, and they're already playing small ball in the first inning.
Here's Tucker Nathans. First pitch was thrown at 6:01. It's 28 degrees Celsius here in Brisbane with wind blowing out at 19 kilometers per hour between center and right field. That's the usual wind condition here at Newmarket. Nathans last night was 1 for 3 with an RBI double. Infield is playing back. Third baseman Darville even. And the first pitch is a strike. Mal Mackay is calling balls and strikes behind home plate. James Shields is at first, and crew chief Tom West is at third.
So right now, infield on the right side is playing deep, and actually they're pinching on third base just to keep the runner tight. If anything's hit there, he won't be able to advance.
Nathan swings through a fastball, and the count is 0-2. Taylor pitched well his last time out. That was on the road against the Perth Heat. 6 2/3 innings, 1 earned run on 5 hits. The run came in on a home run, but he struck out 5 batters, and he earned his 5th win of the year.
Yeah, he's been one of the most consistent guys on the mound this year. He'll have his hands full against a tough Cavalry team, but like I said, this is where we get to the business end of the season.
Nathan swings and misses. Tied in knots, down and in. That's a big strikeout for the second out of the first inning. It'll be left to Zach Wilson.
Tell you what, get a chance to see the replay, and just ties him up exactly like you said. Did not allow him to get his arms extended. And look at the location on that pitch. Not a lot you can do with it. That's a big out for the Bandits.
Podorski still at third. He hit the first pitch of the game for a double to left center field. Now Zach Wilson, who was held largely in check last night. Top offensive threat for the Cavalry. Singled in his last plate appearance, but by that time the game was out of hand. Bandits took the game last night 12-2. We saw a little bit of the rust that we expected from the Cavalry, given that they were unable to play last weekend due to the bushfires.
Yeah, and even Ward said that in the press conference. He mentioned that was one of the big question marks. even with the ability to get on field, a lot of limitations based on the air quality. So that really restricted how much work they could do on the baseball field.
On appeal, Wilson checked his swing. The count is 1-1. Manager Keith Ward didn't dance around the topic last night in the postgame press conference. They were able to get some workouts in, but there's no way to replicate full game action. Fouled off 1 and 2.
No, there isn't. But he also made comment that the guys hopefully find their feet after game 1 and then get back into this. And like I said, it is tough. You look at it at the major league level. You get to the World Series. If the guys qualify early and they've got to sit while the other games are playing, they've got to catch up.
Taylor delivers. Bounced in the dirt. Nice stop by the catcher, Jeremy Martinez. When we give you a chance, we'll give you the Bandits defensively. But things have happened quite quickly here in the top of the first inning. A definite change in approach from the Cavalry, who saw themselves ambushed last night with a 3-spot for the Bandits in the first inning. Taylor stares in. 2-2 to Wilson. Called strike 3. Podorski left at third. The Cavalry come up empty in the first, and the Bandits are coming to bat after this.
Taking off overseas this year? You wouldn't believe who you may run into at the airport. The Brisbane Bandits have partnered with award-winning China Airlines to be our gateway to the world. China Airlines operate the brand new Airbus A350 out of Brisbane, so you can be assured of a safe, comfortable and relaxed flight to wherever you may be headed. With daily flights from Brisbane to Auckland and return, you may just bump into a few of our champions lending a hand on board. And we'll be doing our best to live up to China Airlines 5-star services. So wherever you're heading overseas on China Airlines, keep an eye out for the Brisbane Bandits. You just never know who you might see.
In the last 4 years, we have put up some numbers. Led the league in hits, RBIs, stolen bases, slugging, home runs, batting average, ERA, single season saves record. We've had 2 home run champions, 2 league MVPs, 4 ABL championships. But none of this would have been possible without Brett Sports, the official equipment partner of the Brisbane Bandits.
Scoreless going to the home half of the first inning between the Bandits and the Cavalry. Here is manager David Nielsen's lineup. It begins with Tim Colwell, followed by Logan Wade and Jeremy Martinez. Wes Darville has been a revelation since coming over from Canada a couple weeks ago. Mitch Nielsen, Donald Lutz, Grant Kay, Ryan Battaglia. And starting against the lefty David Sutherland, he was not in the original lineup, but because of the injury to Wade Dutton, Sutherland gets a chance against a southpaw.
Yeah, look, and look, he handles lefties well, so I don't think it's a big, but it is obviously a concern. Wade Dutton has been one of the big spark plugs for this ball club, so hopefully he'll have a quick recovery.
Philip Pfeiffer so far in the ABL season is 2-1 with an ERA of 1.57. His fastball sits 92 to 93 miles per hour, plus breaking stuff with both a slider and a curveball. He was just added to the Atlanta Braves 40-man roster back in November, so this is someone that is on the rise in American baseball. He's come over here and he's done exactly as advertised, stabilizing this Cavalry rotation.
Well, I tell you what, anytime you get a guy, particularly makes a 40-man, it's come down to business. So Bandits will be challenged today.
Tim Colwell takes a strike. Colwell last night was 0 for 5, but he put the ball in play and he reached base twice on infield errors, showing what his speed at the top of the order can do.
Yeah, and that's what Colwell does so well. He just puts pressure on defense, and he has a very good ability of barreling up a baseball. Uses the whole field, and he really makes pitchers work the count.
Pfeiffer's 1-1, gets a swing and a miss. Pfeiffer had an ERA of 2.97 in 133 and a third minor league innings this past American season, split between high A, double A, and triple A in the Braves system. The 1-2. Colwell swings and misses, an opening strikeout. That'll bring in Logan Wade. Let's take a look at the Cavalry in the field. Pfeiffer will be caught by Chucky Robinson. Zach Wilson at first, Tucker Nathans at second, Cam Warner at third, and Kelvin Melian at short. Perkins, Podorski, and Suter left to right across the outfield. There were a couple errors made in the field by the Cavalry last night, but we remarked that there's a lot of potential and a lot of speed on this Cavalry roster. They should be good in the field if they're playing up to their potential.
Absolutely. I mean, both teams are evenly matched, and we talked about it. It's probably a little bit of rust. You know, you go a full weekend and being dormant, it does have an effect, but I think these guys will rebound over the next 3 games.
Logan Wade was not retired last night. 3 for 3 with a pair of walks and a 2-run home run that came in the 8th inning. That was as a right-handed hitter. The first 4 plate appearances came as a lefty. Good to see him hitting well from both sides of the plate and bringing the batting average back up closer to where he's accustomed to seeing it.
And that's what the Bandits need from him. His defense has been solid and outstanding all year. And like I said, he hasn't swung the bat poorly, but just we've been very, very spoiled and accustomed to seeing him hit for a little bit better average. But at the end of the day, it's what he's going to do in the back end of this season.
He chases in the dirt. It'll require a throw, but Pfeiffer has started his night with back-to-back strikeouts.
Just looking at him early, he's got very, very easy arm action. When you look at his mound presence, very relaxed, and that's what you tend to see, is very relaxed and very composed. So the Bandits are going to have their work cut out. He's got 3 pitches, and everything looks pretty sharp tonight.
Now Jeremy Martinez once again catching tonight for the Bandits. First pitch misses, ball 1. Martinez tied for the team lead with 4 home runs, fouling off 1 and 1. The most striking number to me is the fact that Martinez has walked 15 times. That's by far the most on the team. He's only struck out 10 times. It's exactly the presence you want in the heart of your order.
No, you're right, and he's got good plate discipline, and like I said, he works as far as his at-bats well, and when you put him in hitting counts, he does damage. So, like I said, I like the makeup of this lineup, and he's been fantastic in this slot.
Close pitch just misses. It's 2-1. Martinez rips it in the air to center, but it's right at Podorski. Knuckling out, he makes the catch, and that'll do it for the Bandits. They go down in order in the first. On to the second in Brisbane. Scoreless on Bandits.tv.
Can't you see my heart is lost without you? And your kisses make me love you more. And your kisses make me love you more. Can't you hear the sound of love and desire?
Scoreless going to the second at One Hub Stadium in Brisbane. Here are the Bandits defensively around Corey Taylor. Jeremy Martinez catches. David Sutherland, the late addition at first base. Grant Kay at second. Logan Wade at short. Wes Darville at third. Mitch Nielsen, Tim Colwell, and Donald Lutz in the outfield. A remade infield from what we saw even just a couple weeks ago with the additions of Kay and Darville, North American imports. Darville has done more at the plate than Kay has, but we expect Kay to contribute offensively, and they've both been great additions in the field.
It's been a big game changer. Like we talked about how it's just solidified the infield. I mean, Logan and Sutherland, obviously the mainstays, but to have those two positions locked down, it's really benefited the Bandits to date.
Jarek Suter takes outside ball 1. It'll be 5, 6, and 7 in the Cavalry order. Suter, Robinson, and Perkins. Robbie Podorski doubled on the first pitch of the ball game, but after that, a sacrifice bunt and 2 strikeouts for Corey Taylor as he got out of the jam. Spun foul 1-1. The top 5 batters in Keith Ward's order are all batting at or above the 300 mark. Ripped up the middle, a clean base hit to start the second inning. Second consecutive inning in which the Cavalry have started it with a base runner.
Yeah, we talked about starting today, the Cavalry hitting at a team at 293, so a very, very productive offensive ball club. And their pitching's been solid all year as well, so it's a tough combination. And like I said, we mentioned this is the pointy end of the season, so Cavalry will not lay down. They'll come out fighting.
Check that, Podorski is not hitting 300. Last night, the first 5 in the order were hitting 300. The difference tonight, David Candelas is on the bench, at least to start things off. Here's Chucky Robinson, the catcher. First pitch is fouled off the mask of Martinez, and he staggers. Doubled over. He stands back up and will be given a couple extra seconds by home plate umpire Mal Mackay.
Yeah, he gave the thumbs up to Taylor just to make sure he's okay, and Mal's just giving him the courtesy breather. That ball comes off fairly quick, so he seems to be okay.
And now Robinson doing the courteous thing and taking his time getting back in the box.
As a catcher would to a fellow catcher.
Yeah.
Just looking at schedules, Canberra actually next round will be against Auckland, so at home. So pending the conditions of the air quality and what's happening in Canberra will determine, how they match up next weekend.
Hit sharply right to the shortstop Wade, to Kay, and to Sutherland, and he drops the ball after trying to drop the tag down. Alert base running by Robinson gets him to second. Sutherland had to leave the bag, and I think he might have actually brushed the jersey of Robinson on his way down the baseline, but he was unable to keep the ball in his glove.
Yeah, the throw pulled him off, and Sutherland is probably as good, if not the best first baseman. And we get a chance to see the replay here. And just made, it's incidental contact, so good feed to second. Throw pulls him off. He makes the tag, but as you can see, caught him in the torso and actually pulled the ball out of the glove. So good base running for Robinson to advance to second base.
There'll be a fielder's choice 6-4 and an error likely on Sutherland. Here's Robbie Perkins. First pitch is a strike. Perkins was the catcher last night. He's the DH tonight. With a doubleheader tomorrow, we might see him DH one of those games as well. Just like last year, this is a Cavalry roster that has a lot of catching flexibility. Bounced well in front of the plate. Martinez blocks.
Tell you what, that's a big block. We saw last night on Sutherland at second base was able to advance in a ball in the dirt and actually be another insurance run. So good job by Martinez just to keep that ball in front.
Fouled back. We're going black on black with the jerseys tonight. Bandits have been playing well in their new camouflage alternate tops. And if you've got something as sharp as the Capital jerseys that the Cavalry are wearing, why not wear them?
Absolutely. I think it's a very, very classic design. Looks almost a bit of a San Francisco Giants almost design, but it's a good-looking uniform.
I can be a stickler sometimes for uniforms if the numbers are hard to read, but at least from this vantage point, I can read the orange on black. I like the font, too, kind of an industrial font.
Yep.
Low and away.
Tell you what, across the league, you've seen a lot of different design changes. Adelaide made some big changes, and it seemed not only having
full-on rebrand, yeah.
Well, rebrand, but it's also changed almost like the culture. You know, they've gone, all of a sudden they sit at the top of the ladder, and it's been a whole different change.
Look good, play good.
Auckland, it came out with a really good design when they launched, and so all across the league, you know, every brand seems to be growing.
First base is open. Count is full with Kyle Perkins on deck. He checked his swing with the three-man umpiring crew. James Shields was behind the pitcher's mound. It's a walk, first and second, one down for Kyle Perkins.
And that's a good, right there, they pitch careful. Perkins hitting 310, and he's always done a lot of damage against the Bandits. So good opportunity now to see if he can induce the ground ball. Ground ball potentially turns into two, gets him out of the inning. So first and second and one out now.
Taylor's first had the plate but missed low, 1-0. Robinson dancing off second. Pitch is ripped to left center field. That'll be down for extra bases. Up against the base of the wall. Robinson will score. Perkins gets the wave. Relay throw goes into the cut. And it's a two-run double for Kyle Perkins. The Cavalry draw first blood. A 2-0 lead in the second.
Tell you what, big hit right there. You got to pitch up in the zone. We get a chance to potentially see the replay on that. But that's a good job of hitting. First and second, one out. That's a big double for Canberra. Now they lead 2-0.
Kelvin Meleon will bat next. Meleon made his season debut last night. He did play for the Cavalry last year. Meleon went 0 for 4 at the plate, including a pop out to short to end the ball game. First pitch is a strike. You had a chance to take a look at his bat. We commented on it last night, and you went into the dugout. And what do you make of that bat? Unique design.
It is. It just looks like it's a type of timber, and the way it went through the lathe machine. But it is.
Chomp to third. Darville looks the runner back, throws on target to first.
Yeah, it appears to be a maple. So, but just a really unique cut and design. But it's custom made for him, and it was all signatured with his name on it. But yeah, all just the uniqueness of what these athletes have to play with now.
Lineup turns over for Robbie Podorski, who ripped a double to left center on the first pitch of the ball game. Off the bat, it looked like a single, but he tested the arm of Mitch Nielsen, and even though the throw beat him, he was able to swim move his way in. Base hit to the outfield, should score Perkins from second. First pitch, a strike. We'll have daylight for about another inning. Sun is falling behind the clouds in foul territory down the first base line. That's where that foul ball goes, out of play 0-2.
So will we have the full moon today? Or
yes, I checked. Full moon. It was a waxing gibbous last night, and we will see if the skies are clear a full moon on this, the 10th of January. Bounced in the dirt. I went to the Sir Thomas Brisbane Planetarium yesterday, and I don't claim to be an astronomy expert, but, you know, I got a refresher course on the basics.
It's a good experience.
Absolutely.
I'll have to put that on the bucket list.
Well, you don't know your moon phases, so maybe you need to do the fifth grade field trip. 1-2. Ooh. Slapped foul, protective swing from Podorski.
Looks like we're going to have a good crowd. It's filling up in the GA section at the moment, and the corporate areas are at capacity. So looks like we're going to have a full house tonight.
Chopped foul. Just over the heads of his teammates in the Canberra dugout.
Now, just remind me, tomorrow is the bushfire.
Yes. The Bandits will be playing 2 games at 2:30 and 6. For every home run the Bandits hit, $100 will be donated to the bushfire appeal. And for every beer that is sold here at One Hub Stadium, $1 will be sold.
Wow.
$1 will be donated. Low and away.
Well, I know we ran a couple specials today, so hopefully that'll assist with the contributions to the bushfire.
And if you're watching at home and are feeling generous, we encourage you to seek out your wildlife or preservation charity of choice as we band together to try and put a stop to these devastating wildfires. 2-2. Fouled back. Podorski had a 1-pitch at bat in the first. Here in the second, he's making Taylor work.
Oh, one thing I was going to mention, they had rain in Victoria today, so there was a washout in Geelong. So hopefully that rain will help with some of the relief on the fire. So Youth National started as well today, so the late game was affected, but they've got probably about 6 games in early.
And of course, rain is good, and I'm no more of a bushfire expert than I am an astronomy expert, but with a cold front can sometimes come increased winds, and it's a very complicated process to use nature to try and put out those fires.
Absolutely.
3-2. Swing and a miss. Podorski fans, and that ends the second inning. But Kyle Perkins hits a 2-run double to put the Cavalry on the board. Bandits will try and answer back after this.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
No one knows what the future of transportation will look like. Robots. But no matter what, Enterprise can help. You can rent a car for a road trip. Look, kids, nature. Oh, wow. You can rent a truck for a move. You can buy a car, commute in a van pool, or get picked up because your car is in a pool. My bad. Count on Enterprise, no matter where transportation goes next.
Let's go.
I love the future. How can Enterprise pick you up today?
Hey, Thomas.
Yeah?
Is it fun playing at festivals?
It's pretty good, mate. You get to see amazing places, meet new people. Everyone's just pumped to be there. And you get to do the sign-off.
Thank you, Queensland! You're amazing!
Queensland, where life's beautiful one day and perfect the next.
Bandits are happy to be sponsored by Reedy Towing. Our owner, Mark Reedy, is somewhere down in the dugout. And if the Bandits win tonight, we know he'll be watching back on the broadcast. So hello, Mark.
Get a chance to see the bullpen cam. Looks like Battaglia up there just doing some dry swing work.
Stuff you can do when you are the designated hitter. He's due up 5th this inning.
It's always hard. I remember when I DH'd, it was, as an everyday player, how do you fill the gaps? You know, you're always occupied, particularly a catcher. So a lot of times the guys will go and take dry swings, or they'll hit off the tee just to stay hot before they come up to bat.
Wes Darville was 1 for 3 last night with 4 RBI and a pair of walks. He hit his first ABL home run, a 3-run shot, to set the tone in the first inning. He'll be followed in this second inning by Mitch Nielsen and Donald Lutz. 2-1 to the Canadian infielder. 2 weeks ago, we saw Darville at second base. He's settled in now at third base and has played great defense over at the hot corner. Chopper to second. Nathans waits back. Short arms with a throw on to first. And Darville is retired. Pfeiffer 4 up, 4 down.
Yeah, I tell you what, like I said early on, and it is still early, really good mound presence. Just seems everything's in control. And we talked about, big thing about here is not pitching to the ballpark, but pitching to your game plan. And it seems like he's pitching to his game plan.
One thing that we do not know is how deep into the ballgame Pfeiffer can go as the switch-hitting Nielsen takes a strike.
That's a really good point. A lot of times once guys, you start putting them in that protected species, 40-man team, they do restrict and limit their pitch count. But right now with his efficiencies, if he keeps pitching like this, he'll be well into the 6th inning.
He's made 6 starts this year for the Cavalry and has gone over 100 pitches in 3 of them. Chopped foul. And his last time out against Geelong Korea, he went 8 innings of scoreless ball, allowing only 4 hits. That was on 105 pitches.
Wow, so that's very rare. Like you'll see that's particularly with a guy that's protected. It'd be interesting to see if Atlanta's put any restrictions on him now that he is on the 40-man, because he'll also have to break to big league camp, which will be February. So potentially if there's a playoff push, I wonder if they'll be able to retain his services. That's always a question for Canberra.
Swing and a miss. Nielsen down on strikes. Third punch out tonight for Pfeiffer, and he's retired all 5 men he's faced.
Yeah, what I see right now is just relaxed, really smooth arm action and explosive with his fastball. Late action on his breaking stuff, and guys are really struggling to square him up or even track him. So if you look at where he releases, he's got to be tough on lefties because he hides the ball well, then it explodes into the zone.
Here's another lefty, Donald Lutz. First pitch just misses for a ball.
So watch how his mechanics go. He almost shows his number to the batter, and then the arm kind of wraps, but everything's hidden, and then it comes out. So it's a late visual, and a lot of times guys show the ball early. It's a lot easier to track, but guys that hide it and then come out of that slot, a lot harder to pick up that arm slot.
His manager, Keith Ward, described it to me as a sneaky 93. So he has plenty of velocity, but he makes it look even faster because of the deception in his delivery.
It is, and that's the thing is guys will tell you, and obviously I'll talk to some of the lefties and guys after the game and tomorrow, and they'll probably concur with that. It's just late pickup action on his release point.
Swing and a miss, 2-2. Pull shift on for Lutz. 3 infielders on the right side. Lutz has home run power to all fields, but when he hits it on the ground, he's usually going to pull it, and that's why the defense is where they are. Swing and a miss. 6 up, 6 down for Philip Pfeiffer, and he's done so quite quickly. On to the 3rd in Brisbane. It's 2-0 Cavalry.
The Brett Sports seated ball organizer fits 5 dozen baseballs. Polyester construction means it is durable and its functional pockets allow for flexibility in storage. An adjustable strap and soft cushioned seat means that this organizer is essential for use of training.
Corey Taylor out there for the third inning. Cavs up 2-0. Thanks to a RBI double from Kyle Perkins back in the second. 2, 3, and 4 due up for Canberra. Warner, Nathans, and Wilson against the Brisbane righty. Warner dropped down a sacrifice fly his first time up, and first pitch swinging, he sends a chopper to third. Darville has it for a quick first down. Taylor will take quick outs. Bandits did get a 5-inning start from Ryan Bollinger last night, and they managed to avoid using most of their late-inning relievers because the game got out of hand late. But with a doubleheader tomorrow, you'll take all the help you can get. Tucker Nathans was a strikeout victim his first time up. First pitch misses low, ball 1. Two and 0. Chopped up the middle. A chance for Wade on the run, throws and retires Nathans, making a tough play look easy as he's done so many times.
Yeah, I tell you what, and exactly what you just said, that wasn't an easy play. He got it in between hop, just behind the bag, but good job of getting through the hop, and good throw to first base and for out number 2.
Now Zach Wilson, who went down looking to end the first and also left a runner at third base. First pitch, a strike. Lifted in the air, foul down the right field line. Long run over for Lutz, and he runs out of room. It's in the bullpen. Wilson lays off the pitch in the dirt.
Good waste pitch right there. 0-2 against a very tough hitter. And right now you just want to make sure, just focus on what your game plan is. So see what Martinez throws down now.
Check swing, and he held up.
Everybody clap your hands. Check it out.
And Wilson has run the count full after falling behind 0-2. Waiting on deck is Jarek Suter.
3-2.
In on the hands, and Wilson has worked a walk. None of the pitches were particularly close either.
No, they weren't. And he pitched very careful once he got 0-2. A couple of balls, hard sliders in the dirt, and then a couple of two-seamers seemed to really run away from him and up and in. So
Jarek Suter lined a single up the middle his first time up. First pitch misses down. It's 5 straight out of the zone for Corey Taylor.
Yeah, and this is right now just try not to be too fine here. These two guys are a threat, and just definitely don't want to make a mistake up in the zone. So just focus on his game plan.
2-0. 3-0, 7 straight out of the zone for Taylor. Chucky Robinson is on deck.
Saw the body language from Taylor right there. He wanted it, but after missing with 5 in a row, it's tough to call that. So
green light on 3-0, and it's popped up on the infield. Close to the Bandits' dugout, and Sutherland runs out of room. If there's anyone who has the height to put his armpit over the little protective netting area, it's Sutherland, but he just didn't have enough room.
And I tell you what, that potentially could be a big out. You know, anytime a guy's green light 3-0, if you get him to pop out in the infield, that's a big out. But he's still in a hitting count 3-1 with 2 outs.
Time requested by the catcher Martinez. Chopped up the middle and into center field. Suter has his second hit. Wilson checks in at second. And the Cavalry have a 2-out rally.
It's a good job of hitting right there. It looks like Jim Bennett will come out for a quick word with Taylor.
Jim is one of the reasons why Corey Taylor is out here in the first place. Bandits fans will remember Jim's son TJ. Big part of recent championship clubs. TJ played with Corey in the affiliated minor leagues.
And that's what's good. I mean, Taylor played under Bennett last year, so he'd know his makeup and he knows the players, and that comes in pretty handy. We talked about Graham Lloyd with Geelong Korea this year, and just having not just to adjust to the team and the players, but to the language as well.
Jim's a pretty calming presence. Right temperament for a pitching coach. Chucky Robinson hit into what could have been a double play his first time up, but he reached on a fielder's choice and dislodged the ball from David Sutherland's glove. He ended up at second base and came home to score on the Kyle Perkins double. First pitch swinging, lifted in the air to shallow right. Second baseman Kay is out, backtracking. The wind pushes it, but he makes the catch. The Cavalry put 2 on with 2 outs, but do not score after 2.5. The Cavs lead it 2-0 on Bandits.tv.
Great job, Chef.
Thanks.
Who wants a drink?
Let's go, Archer. Beers away.
Thank you, Archer.
Looks like these guys are working up a tropical thirst, Archer.
Thank you, Archer!
Beers to the beach.
Yeah! Thank you, Archer!
They look thirsty down there in the outback, Archer.
We'll all be.
Thank you, Archer!
Yeah!
Good boy, Archer.
Cavs lead the Bandits 2-0 as we head to the home half of the third inning. With Paul Gonzalez, this is Eric Bramer. So far, Philip Pfeiffer has looked really, really good. 6 up, 6 down with 4 strikeouts. Only 1 ball has left the infield, and he's thrown only 26 pitches. It'll be the bottom third of the order due up for Brisbane. Grant Kay, Ryan Battaglia, and David Sutherland. Grant Kay is still looking for that first ABL hit. Last night he was 0 for 5. He has driven in a run, and and he's played good defense, just looking for that first knock. First pitch misses wide, ball 1. Two and 0. Kay missed the entire 2018 season. Came back to play a couple weeks worth of games in 2019 in the Rays system. Here's a drive, high and deep to left field. Long run for Perkins. He won't catch it. It skips up and off the top of the wall. A double for Grant Kay. It's his first Bandits hit. And it was hit with authority.
I think the boys are asking for the ball, so see if he actually gets the ball. There he is. Yep.
Pfeiffer really doesn't want to do what they want, and Keith Ward will oblige.
Well, there's his first hit. Perfect time for the Bandits, down 2-0 here in the third inning. And like I said, he's been lights out up until this time. So can the Bandits now generate some offense against his tough lefty?
Here's Ryan Battaglia. First pitch is a strike. Battaglia gets a chance to DH. He was actually scheduled to play first base before Wade Dutton was scratched and David Sutherland entered the lineup. Lifted in the air, foul, first base side. Out of play. So I don't want to get too deep into the weeds here, but Kay is a Louisville guy. Pfeiffer is a Vanderbilt guy. Kay was drafted a year before Pfeiffer was.
So they would have gone. They would have seen each other.
One would think so. These colors don't run.
And guys don't forget each other, particularly when you're talking guys. He's a third-round pick with the Dodgers. He definitely would have remembered that. Ooh, maybe a little cross-up right there. Got a chance to hear the catcher. He's looking at him right now. And like I said, when a guy's got nasty stuff like he does, might have just been a cross-up or a mix-up on that, looking for a fastball.
And with Kay at second base, they did have to go with multiple signs. They're going to talk it over.
And that's what we talked about a lot of times. A lot of guys will, first-time catching guys, no matter how much experience they have, they'll always go in and have that brief just to make sure they're on the same page. Once again, Bandits have an opportunity, and this is where Battaglia has to find a way, put the ball in play, and drive in a run and produce some offense.
Infield playing back. First baseman Wilson is even. Battaglia checked his swing, or did he? Yes, he did. The at-bat will continue.
I tell you what, that's a tough pitch. It's almost like what Bollinger throws, that little cutter slider. It really laid action on it. And like I said, because his arm slot, he's really tough to pick up. It's got real laid action on it, so it's tough to lay off of.
Ooh. Close pitch to take, but the count runs full with David Sutherland on deck.
If that's one that you do want to chase, that's the one you do want to chase. It's at least up in the zone. Gives you a chance to barrel it up. Got away with the pitch up in the zone, but now it brings it 3-2.
Payoff pitch from Pfeiffer. Inside and a walk. Tying run is aboard. Here's Sutherland. And Pfeiffer, pitching from the stretch for the first time, has trouble with the strike zone. Sutherland last night was 2 for 3 with a single, an RBI double, and a walk. First pitch swinging, hot ground ball, bobbled by the second baseman Nathans, throws to first, and Sutherland is retired, but scoring on the play is Kay, and the Bandits are on the board. He got the job done. He hit the ball hard, and he brought home the run.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want. You know, Sutherland was a late scratch back into the ball game with Dutton sitting down today. Got his ground ball, wasn't able to convert at second base, and that allows the run score, but it also allows Battaglia to advance to second base and keeps the threat alive.
Double play is no longer in order. Here's Tim Colwell, who was a strikeout victim his first time up. First pitch outside for a ball.
Now here's what we call adjustment time. So guys will get a chance second time around the batting order, and now all of a sudden we start getting into the third inning. So guys will put a little bit more pressure.
Swing and a miss.
That's a good pitch right there. Just a little bit of a spinner, but just a little bit of speed off that pitch. And you know, like I said, he's a sneaky 91 to 93, so you can't get lazy at the plate.
One and two.
Yeah, good location right there. That's a tough one to hit for anybody. But like I said, tonight he's been pretty spot on and real tough on lefties.
Pfeiffer has not allowed more than 2 earned runs in a start this year. The last time he allowed 2 was more than a month ago. Swing and a miss. Colwell, a strikeout victim. That'll leave it to Logan Wade. 5 strikeouts already for Pfeiffer. Let's take another look at this pitch.
Yeah, just see, and we're talking about a good contact guy right here in Colwell. So just rare back and elevated fastball, really tough to catch up for. But this shows how tough and explosive his fastball is late in the zone.
Logan Wade was a strikeout victim his first time. I feel like I'm saying that phrase a lot, but it's true. Pfeiffer's gotten a lot of swings and misses. First pitch is a strike. Pfeiffer has gone at least 5 innings in 5 of his 6 starts. All of them have been good, varying degrees of good. 1-1. Against the Bandits back on the 20th of December, he allowed 1 run on 6 hits over 5 innings. The 1 run came on a home run. That was hit by Colwell. 1-2. Chopped on the ground, right side. Could it be a shift beater? It is. Rounding third, coming home is Battaglia. Here's the throw, and he is out. Perfect one-hop strike from Suter. Cuts down Battaglia and preserves the lead for the Cavalry. With 2 out, Battaglia was off on contact, but it didn't matter. That was a perfect throw for out number 3. Let's take another look. Battaglia rounded it well. It needed to be a perfect throw, and it was. Bandits cannot complete the comeback, but they have plenty more time to do that. We'll be back after this on Bandits.tv.
Taking off overseas this year? You wouldn't believe who you may run into at the airport. The Brisbane Bandits have partnered with award-winning China Airlines to be our gateway to the world. China Airlines operate the brand new Airbus A350 out of Brisbane, so you can be assured of a safe, comfortable and relaxed flight to wherever you may be headed. With daily flights from Brisbane to Auckland and return, you may just bump into a few of our champions lending a hand on board. And we'll be doing our best to live up to China Airlines' 5-star services. So wherever you're heading overseas on China Airlines, keep an eye out for the Brisbane Bandits. You just never know who you might see.
In the last 4 years, we have put up some numbers. Led the league in hits, RBIs, stolen bases, slugging, home runs, batting average, ERA, single season saves record. We've had 2 home run champions, 2 league MVPs, 4 ABL championships. But none of this would have been possible without Brett Sports, the official equipment partner of the Brisbane Bandits.
2-1 Cavs over the Bandits as we head to the 4th inning. Great throw from the right fielder Suter to the plate to cut down Ryan Battaglia. We talked last night about the arm of Jarek Suter. He didn't flash it necessarily. He just decided to show it off, and maybe that was a warning shot to the Bandits because he showed it off when it mattered here tonight. First pitch swinging, hot ground ball underneath the glove of Wade, and Robbie Perkins is aboard. In 4 innings now against Corey Taylor, the Cavalry have gotten the leadoff man on 3 times.
No, they have. They've been very aggressive, particularly in the leadoff spot, and once again they continue to put pressure on the Bandits pitching and the defense. But like I said, that throw right there, we got a chance to see him air a few out to third base, and I thought it would be interesting to see if there was a play, and he did not disappoint us with that throw home. Battaglia did everything right. He on the crack of the bat, you break with 2 outs. Just took a good throw to get him, and it was a perfect throw.
Kyle Perkins is the reason the Cavalry are leading with his 2-run double his last time up, and he delivers a line drive single just out of the outstretched glove of Wade. It's a couple close calls for Wade. He has good range. If he can't get to it, no one can.
Yeah, look, it just pulled him in that 5-6 hole. So ball wasn't hit extremely hard right there. The first one was, but just in a good spot. Now that puts first and second and nobody out. So once again, will Canberra play small ball like they did in the first?
They've got their 9-hitter, Kelvin Melian, at the plate. He does not have a hit this year.
And I did get a little bit of history on the bat from Cam from base to base. He's saying that is a flame burnt pattern while the bat is on the lathe. So that's actually flame burnt.
I like it.
So you got to be good if you're getting your bat flame broiled. It's like there we go. We're playing small ball. And like I said, Canberra know they've got a tough arm on the mound. So they know if they can give him a crooked number, he's tough to beat. Right now they've got a lead in 2-1, and we're in the 4th inning. And if they can tack onto that lead, it makes it a lot tougher for the Bandits.
Pitch was taken for a ball. Third baseman stays back, and the bunt goes in that direction. Darville fields it in foul territory. So it appeared that the Bandits, if the bunt was to the pitcher or first baseman, were going to try and get the lead runner. Melian, however, knows that. You were a good bunter in your day. If you have the bat control, you can pretty finely point where that bunt is going to go.
When this situation, he should be bunting to the third base side. Technically, he wants the third baseman to field the ball. With the first baseman crashing, if the third baseman reads it, they'll play the force at third. Perkins runs fairly well for a catcher, so it's still going to be a tough play.
A bunt right back to the mound. Taylor's only play is to first, and it's a close play, but they do get Melian. A successful sacrifice moves up both runners.
Yeah, very good job by Milan right there on the bunt, and that's what you do. When you get to playoff baseball, you play technical baseball. It's about execution. Right now, you give yourself up for the team, and now that brings the top of the order to the plate with a chance of driving a run.
Score that sacrifice 1-4 with the second baseman Kay coming over, and here comes Jim Bennett to talk things over. Robbie Podorski is 1 for 2 with a double. You have first base open, but this is the leadoff man. You're not getting around a good hitter to face someone who's struggling. After Podorski, it's Warner, Nathans, and Wilson.
Plus, he's a plus runner. You know, on the crack of the bat in that first inning, he legged out a double. Second inning with 2 outs, he actually showed a bunt. So you can't concede. He's just going to swing the bat. So you've got to maybe play even with the bag, which opens up the left side of the field with the third baseman playing even with the bag. First baseman will probably play a step or two behind the bag. So, and he puts pressure on you with his speed. So there's a lot at play right now.
Third baseman Darville is playing even. Middle infielders crashing in a bit. First pitch is low. And that's where you want to aim that pitch, right? You get the ball on the ground and force the Cavalry to make a decision.
And that's what he wants. He wants either throw that heavy two-seamer to hopefully induce the ground ball to your third baseman or your first baseman. Anything up the middle scores a run.
Pitch is low again, and again it's taken by Podorski.
And then obviously working the ball down in the zone, you hopefully eliminate the sacrifice fly. So a lot of things at play. I think Benny would have said just really work hard with your two-seamer and hard slider away. See if you can induce the ground ball or the strikeout. And if you walk them, then you've got bases loaded and a chance to turn a double play.
There's a strike, 2-1. Inning began with a pair of singles for the Perkinses, Robbie and Kyle. Base hit to the outfield might score both of them. Here's a little fly ball into shallow center. Coming on is Caldwell, setting up for a throw. Here comes Perkins to the plate. And the ball skips off the back slope of the mound. That takes a little gas off of it, and it will be a sacrifice fly in a 3-1 lead. It was a good throw, it's just the mound got in the way.
Yeah, but good job by the hitter right there. He got himself in a 2-1 count. He got a pitch up in the zone, able to barrel it up to center field. Caldwell had a good catch behind it as far as getting momentum, but the mound decelerated the throw, and the runner scored easily.
Now Cam Warner with Kyle Perkins still at second.
But right there, that's good textbook baseball. First and second, nobody out. Sacrifice bunt. Ball up in the zone, sacrifice fly, manufacture a run. Now making it 3-1.
Warner takes inside. The Cavs get the run back that the Bandits got in the third. Fouled at the plate.
It's funny with Joe Madden's actually signed as the manager with the California Angels, and he talked about this year's approach, particularly with the talent he has on that ball club, and he talked about a hybrid style of baseball. So a lot of people are playing the launch angle and the long ball, and other people are playing the cybermetrics and let's do the little things. And it'd be interesting the style of baseball the Angels play this year.
The style of baseball is dictated by the personnel, and Joe Madden has inherited a roster with a couple long-term players. You've got Trout, maybe the best player of my lifetime. Albert Pujols, who's not the player he once was, but might be the second best player of my lifetime.
Correct. And you got an up-and-comer out of Japan.
Ohtani chopped up the middle.
Ooh,
diving stop by Kay. Throws from his seat. And now the throw to the plate. And they got him. Perkins tried to score from second. Kay with the diving stop through to Sutherland. And the first baseman wheeled and turned to deliver a strike to home. The Cavalry get one, but no more, thanks to some excellent defense by the Bandits infield. Let's take another look. Great play, and a close play at home with a feet-first slide from Perkins. We'll be back after this on Bandits.tv.
Careful, out there, champ.
How good is this?
(3-1) Cavs over the Bandits going to the bottom of the fourth inning. Both teams now have recorded outs at the plate. It was a throw from the right fielder Suter, cutting down a Bandits run in the third. And to end the fourth, a great play made by the Bandits infield. Kay saved the run, and Sutherland, by throwing heads up to the plate, was able to prevent Perkins from scoring as he tried to come home from second base.
Yeah, and those are the types of plays that they don't make the press clippings, the home runs, the base hits, and the big errors make it. But right there, those types of plays that throw out at home, and then that great play, and the awareness of Sutherland to come up and fire home on that very good play up the middle by Kay to get that runner out, which is keeping this ball game tied at 3-1.
Heart of the order due up for Brisbane, 3, 4, and 5. Philip Pfeiffer has thrown 44 pitches through the first 3 innings. Martinez flied out to center his first time up. Check swing, and the count is 2-1.
It was interesting. There's actually a scout from Taiwan that's here, and I thought potentially he's scouting for the CPBL, but they're actually scouting for Taiwan national team. So obviously with Premier 12 second round of qualification, I believe. So they're already starting to do a bit of homework here, and they're doing homework in Korea as well.
Leadoff walk for Martinez, bringing in Wes Darville. If Team Canada does not win the North American pool of the teams remaining, they will be in Taiwan for that last chance tournament to make the 2020 Olympics. If you want to scout a game that's going on this time of year, this is the place to be. You've got about half of Team Australia and a couple guys from elsewhere. First pitch swinging, Darville lifts it behind third. Long run in for Perkins, but he's there and he makes the catch.
No, and I tell you what, and even that, I mean, there's an opportunity to even see these guys on television if you can't see them live. The only thing we don't show is obviously the velocity, but at least they can see how they're swinging the bat, and if there are arms, seeing the types of pitches they're throwing in situations.
Here's Mitch Nielsen, a strikeout his first time up. Rips the first pitch to left. Going back is Perkins, and he makes the catch. Well, the Bandits are hitting the ball harder than they did in their first time through the order against Pfeiffer, but the results just aren't there.
No, but that's what you have to do. You can't let a guy like this get ahead of you because he gets tougher with 2 strikes. So be aggressive with the bat early in the count, particularly if you get something you can drive. And Nielsen got something he can drive, just hit it right at Perkins.
Here's Donald Lutz. He struck out his first time up. Bandits trying to do something with the leadoff walk to Martinez. Lutz takes a strike. And the count evens. Cavalry have out-hit the Bandits 7-2. Both Bandits' hits came in the third inning. Swing and a miss. Pfeiffer's pitch misses low, 2-2. Lutz has homered 4 times and driven in 8, which tells me that he has made his home runs count. Here's a liner towards center field. It's down for a hit. Martinez checks into second, and you cannot shift to that line drive.
No, and that's a really good at-bat by Lutz right there. You know, particularly against a tough lefty. Lefties really have to look at staying through the baseball. If you come off it, the slider is almost impossible to hit, but did a really good job of staying through the ball, and that's a good at-bat for Lutzy.
Grant Kay doubled to the left field corner. His first time up, it was his first ABL hit. And eventually, the Bandits got that ball back in their dugout. Tying runners at first for the Bandits' second baseman. First pitch misses up. Good take by Kay. That pitch was designed to chase, but he laid off 2-0.
Good time for him to drive in his first run right here as well. So, like I said, he's been tough all night. Came up with a big double early in the ball game.
He did bring home a run in the Perth series, but it was not on a hit. So, something with 2 down here. Would be exactly what the doctor ordered. He should get a good pitch on 2-0. He doesn't swing, and it's a strike 2-1. Just a little bit inside from what Kay was probably looking for. That's a good pitch from a veteran pitcher.
Yeah, good pitch, good look. And that's what guys are going to do. The higher you go up, the tougher it gets once you get runners in scoring position. So, just good execution.
Now 3-1 with Ryan Battaglia on deck. Inning began with a walk to Jeremy Martinez. He's still out there at second base. There's the second walk for Pfeiffer to go with 5 strikeouts. Pfeiffer's 3-1. Kay pops it up, foul and out of play.
I do like the aggressive there in that at bat. So he got a pitch up in the zone. Now he'll get a 3-2 count. So runners will be moving with 2 outs. So if he does find a gap, that definitely scores a run and potentially advances Lutz to third base. So a lot of pressure now on Canberra with runners moving.
Runners go, the 3-2 from Pfeiffer. Hit into soft center field. It's down for a base hit. And that will bring home Martinez. It's an RBI single for Grant Kay. The Bandits are within a run. In on the hands, but he was able to get the job done.
Yeah, really good job right there. A tough pitch. He threw a late action slider or cutter with 3-2 count right there. So that's what you'll see at the higher levels, but strong enough to stay through the baseball just in front of the center fielder, and now that's a 3-2 ball game.
Tying run in scoring position. And there will be a mound visit. This is last night's starter, J.J. Hoover, serving as pitching coach for manager Keith Ward. Ward does not have a coaching staff that travels with him, so this is a former MLB player deciding to take on a leadership role and talk pitcher to pitcher.
I like that. You know, when you talk about it, I mean, threw the ball well last night, and to have his presence in the clubhouse, and we talk about, you know, Young from Melbourne and Lutzy with the Bandits, just having that experience at that elite level. They've got a calm head about him, and they can just go back there and just give him a bit of counsel. So he's got 2 outs. He's still had a 3-2 lead, and we're in the 4th inning, so just settling everything down.
Mal Mackay has an amused look on his face. Must not have been too serious of a conversation out there. Now Battaglia, who drew a walk his first time up. Lutz is at second, Kay is at first. Pfeiffer's been on the ropes these last 2 innings. First pitch is up and away, ball 1. Pfeiffer has retired only 4 of his last 10 batters faced, going back to the start of the 3rd inning. Battaglia chops foul. Almost picked up by Matty Roxborough, Bandits' third base coach. Matt was a pretty good player back in his day, but he had a glove back then.
That's it.
1-1. Ripped foul, 1-2. Pitch count now up into the 60s for Pfeiffer. It's good news for the Bandits.
1-2.
Pfeiffer was looking for the called strike 3, and it didn't miss by much. It was close enough that Robinson decided to call time, shake his head side to side, and make a point of saying that should have been strike 3.
Yeah, and that's it, like you said, that communication between catcher and umpire. Obviously, there's still a level of respect there, but he's going to fight for his pitcher every time.
Pfeiffer's pitch, swing and a miss. He gets Battaglia, and that does it for the Bandits in the 4th inning. They get one back on Grant Kay's RBI single, and we head to the 5th with a 3-2 score on Bandits.tv.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
No one knows what the future of transportation will look like. Robots. But no matter what, Enterprise can help. You can rent a car for a road trip. Look, kids, nature. Oh, wow. You can rent a truck for a move. You can buy a car, commute in a van pool, or get picked up because your car is in a pool. My bad. Count on Enterprise, no matter where transportation goes next.
Let's go.
I love the future. How can Enterprise pick you up today?
Hey, Thomas.
Yeah?
Is it fun playing at festivals?
It's pretty good, mate. You get to see amazing places, meet new people. Everyone's just pumped to be there. And you get to do the sign-off.
Queensland, where life's beautiful one day and perfect the next.
There it is, the full moon tonight on the 10th of January. Last night it was a waxing gibbous. Tomorrow it'll be a waning gibbous. And for more on the phases of the moon, we encourage you to visit the Brisbane Planetarium at the foothills of Mount Cootha.
No, it is. It's a gorgeous area there. I know I've taken the family there to the botanical gardens, and it's absolutely stunning. So I've got a young 12-year-old, so see if I can make it a day of it or an evening of it.
On to the 5th, it's a 3-2 Cavalry lead over the Bandits.
We've had quite the ball game. I mean, it's been a pitching duel. There hasn't been many mistakes by either team, and both teams have actually come up with some big plays and close plays at home plate, which has kept this game tight.
Each team recorded an out at home plate to end an inning. Tucker Nathans takes 2 balls from Corey Taylor. 3, 4, and 5 due up for Canberra. It's Nathans, Wilson, and Suter. Swing and a miss, 2-1. Called strike. Nathans doesn't like it. It's 2-2.
2.
Lifted foul. Taylor's pitch count is all right. 67 pitches, 41 for strikes. Chopped into the shift. That's the shortstop Wade over there to make the play. Usually I try and make a habit of saying when the infield is in the shift, but it happens so much more frequently now, it's almost unremarkable when the defense moves to accommodate a left or right-handed hitter.
It does, and a lot of times the pull is forced because the top hand releases, and it actually causes a lot of guys to hook the ball onto the ground. So they're just playing the percentage of an early top hand release for lefties, and obviously for a righty, and play to the percentages. And when they actually do get underneath the baseball, they tend to hit fly balls. So they keep their outfield straight up.
Zach Wilson hasn't put the ball in play tonight. He struck out in the first and walked in the third. One and one. Chopped foul. No action on the Bandits' pen. Taylor has been good for Brisbane, and he has also made a habit of going deep into the ball game. He's completed 6 innings 3 times so far this year. The Taylor pitch. Lifted foul and out of play. Taking a look around the scoreboard, we already told you that the GK Melbourne game was washed out, postponed due to rain. And of course, we hope that that rain is a good thing as they try and fight the bushfires down there in Victoria. In Adelaide, the Perth Heat have taken a 2-1 lead on the Giants. That game is in the second. And in Sydney, the Blue Sox and Auckland Tuatara are knotted up at 2 in the second. Soft line drive too tall for Wade. That's a hit for Wilson. And now it's bobbled. Wilson going for second. Here's the throw. And he is in safely. Heads up base running by Wilson. That's the second time today that we've seen the Cavalry stretch out a single into a double, assuming that's what that's ruled.
Yeah, look, that's just good baseball right there. Ball came up, got by Nielsen in left, and good job by Colwell to back him up. But good heads-up baseball by Wilson to hustle out of the box and turn that into either a double or potentially a single with an error, depending on how that's scored. But once again, it brings a threat to the plate with 1 out.
Here's Jarek Suter, 2 for 2 with a pair of singles. First pitch chopped foul. This is Mitch Nielsen's first start in the outfield since the 2017-18 season when he started 10 games and left. He's seen most of his time at second base and third base this year with 1 game at first. Ooh. Just missed, and the count is even 1-1.
Tell you what, both pitchers have had to work for their outs tonight, so nothing has come easy, but they've had the ability to bear down in tough situations. So
2-1. They do give Nielsen an error in left. That's his 3rd error of the season, but his first in his career as an outfielder. And now 3-1 to Suter with first base open and Chucky Robinson on deck.
Well, if he gets something he can handle, he'd definitely be letting it go. He had a 3-0 count last at bat, and he let it fly 3-0. So Taylor will have to be very fine with his pitches here and location here.
Taylor spins off. Chop to third. Oh, what a pick. Darville throws across the diamond to retire Suter. He has been a vacuum at the hot corner since coming over here a few weeks ago.
That is very impressive. We'll see the replay, and this is not an easy play. And third base is really unique. It's about footwork, and you see where it gets. But what he does, he positions his feet to get the big hop, so he doesn't get himself in between hops, and he plays a lot of shortstop, and so really good with his feet, good hands, and that's a big-time play for the Bandits in out number 2.
And perhaps just as importantly, Wilson has to stay at second base. Now Chucky Robinson.
Well, when a chance, it was his gloves in the dugout. If you ever get a chance to look at it, it's let's just say it's got a bit of vintage years on it, and it must be obviously his go-to gamer. But there was a guy, Tulowitzki, with Toronto and a few other teams, but same thing, played with the same glove for a number of years, and it seems to be that even though he can get a new one, that's their go-to gamer.
Troy Tulowitzki at his best years with the Colorado Rockies. Great bat, great glove. Missing down 2-0. Called strike, 2-1.
Tell you what, it's been a good turnout tonight. Another beautiful night, and like you said, full moon, and a good turnout for the Bandits.
Swing and a miss, 2-2.
Tell you what, you and I are fortunate enough to get to call the games, and right now, in my opinion, it's a tight race. It's anybody's Collection Shield this year.
Absolutely.
There's no one that you sit there and say he's going to run away with it. Everyone seems to be very evenly matched.
Martinez tried to lift it up and frame it. Crowd wanted it, but Mal Mackay resisted. 3-2, first base is open. Robbie Perkins is on deck.
And really the big thing is you've got two young teams in Auckland and the Giants that they haven't been in the playoffs for a while, and that'll be the real test is when you start getting to the
2-out walk. Robinson is to first, and now Robbie Perkins.
Another dangerous batter for the Canberra Cavalry. He's had quality at bats against the Bandits tonight and throughout his career, so Taylor will need to be really tough on the hitter if he wants to stay in this ball game.
Adelaide right now has the best record in the league. Though they did not play last weekend, they were the scheduled opponent for the Cavalry before the bushfires got in the way. They're playing the team chasing them, the Perth Heat, who are a game back at 17-11. Perkins walked and scored in the second, and singled and scored in the fourth. Missing down. And Taylor trying to avoid the bout of wildness that he endured back in the second.
Yeah, he got a borderline pitch called a ball, and a bit of comments out of the dugout as well. And obviously they understand the pressures of this game. We're in the fifth inning. It is 3-2, and got a tough hitter at the plate.
Ripped to center. Long run over for Caldwell. He won't get there. Into the gap in right center field. Wilson will score. Robinson waved home. Here's the throw to the plate. And on a hop, it's not in time. A two-run double for Robbie Perkins, and the Cavalry extend their lead to 5-2. Mal Mackay hearing it from the Bandits' dugout. They were unhappy with the strike zone that led to the favorable hitting count to Perkins.
And that's where we talk about, the dynamics of an at-bat. A close borderline pitch, all of a sudden not called a strike. You go to a 2-0 count, especially against a very good hitter in Perkins. And he does what good hitters do. He got a ball he could drive, and he drives in the right center, and that drives in too. So once again, in the 5th inning, and now the game is 5-2 in favor of Canberra.
First pitch is a strike to Kyle Perkins, who's 2 for 2 with the 2-run double back in the second. Both runs are earned despite the Nielsen error in left field. Taylor has now allowed 19 earned runs this season, and 10 have come in his 2 starts against the Cavalry. Rip to right field. Lutz playing with it, and it's off of his glove. Up against the wall. Another run will come home as Perkins scores. Kyle Perkins trades places with Robbie Perkins. Another RBI double for the Cavalry left fielder, and it's 6-2.
Yeah, just a good job of hitting. He's had a big night tonight for the Canberra Cavalry. That's his 3rd hit of the night, and that's a tough play for Lutz. He got a good run on it, and it looks like just carried a little bit too much on him and unable to come up with the catch. So that's the 3rd run of the inning, now making it 6-2 in favor.
That sounds the alarm on the Bandits bullpen, with Matt Timms now up and throwing. Kelvin Melian is the 7th man to bat in the inning. 0 for 1, he dropped down to sacrifices last time up. First pitch misses low.
We did talk about, the dynamics of this ball club. They're an electric offensive ball club, and this inning they've really shown how strong they are.
1-1.
Like I said, it's about capitalizing on opportunities, and they've done a good job. They had miscue in left. Wilson advanced to second base hit. And all of a sudden now, a couple swings of the bat, Canberra take charge of this ball game.
Swing and a miss. 1-2. Bandits want to get their bats back to work. They scored a run off Pfeiffer in each of the last 2 innings and had a chance for more. Bounced in the dirt. Nice pickup by Martinez. Check swing foul. It hit his hand, and now home plate umpire Mal Mackay will talk it over with Keith Ward. If he went around, it should be a dead ball strike. And the throw to first will complete the strikeout, but Keith Ward is getting fired up talking it over. He wanted an appeal to the base umpire. The Bandits will leave the field. The argument will continue. It's a dead ball strike and strike 3. Melian down, still in pain, after he got that ball off of his wrist or his hand. Things have settled down a bit. So we're going to send it to break. It's 6-2 Cavalry on Bandits.tv.
been you.
It's always been us.
Conversation still continuing between home plate umpire Mal Mackay and Canberra Cavalry manager Keith Ward. The play that ended the 5th inning was a strikeout of Kelvin Melian. And let's take another look. If it hits him and he swings, it's a dead ball, strike 3. The throw to first doesn't have any bearing on it. The play was done as soon as the ball was dead. But Keith Ward, perhaps correctly, we'll leave it neutral up here in the broadcast booth, he just wanted an appeal to the base umpire to see if he checked his swing, because if he checked his swing, then it should be a hit by pitch.
Yeah, and that's the real argument right there. Just ask for help in that situation. Mal said he had a good angle on it, so that'll be a dispute. It's a subjective decision on both parts. One person sees one and the other person makes another call. So it appears all will stand. There's going to be a little conference with Tom West, James Shields. So they're having a little bit of a conversation there now.
Everyone else has moved on. Philip Pfeiffer has finished his warm-up tosses as he continues his start. The Bandits are ready to bat, so I don't think there's any way this call would get overturned. It is a judgment call.
Well, if it did, I think you'd see manager David Nielsen come out of the dugout fairly quickly. And
then we take a back seat and let the crowd mic do the work. They are talking at length here. Tom West is the crew chief, and they're going to confirm that it was a strikeout, and Keith Ward will one more time say his piece. He wants to talk with the other umpires. Unless there was a rule that was interpreted incorrectly, I don't know if you can really argue for the call to be changed.
And I think that's what crew chief Tom West will be talking to Ward about, just the interpretation of the rule. We go from there. So hopefully he's okay as far as the batter. I think he appears he's going out to shortstop now. So he seems to be fine.
If the pitch hits a batter and he does not swing, it is a hit by pitch.
Correct.
If the pitch hits the batter and he swings, it is a dead ball strike.
Correct.
With a 2-strike count, it was strike 3. Batter out, inning over. I think we're assessing this correctly that Keith Ward was upset about the lack of an appeal.
Whether he checked up on his swing. That's what he was appealing.
It was obvious that Melian was indeed hit by the pitch. He cannot be arguing that it was a foul ball and the at-bat should continue. He was down on the ground for about a minute.
Correct.
No apparent ejection. But Keith Ward is still fired up. I think now he wants to be ejected, and we'll see how long he lasts. We are going to have a post-game press conference, and if Keith cooperates, we'll have plenty to talk about. Pfeiffer will continue his warm-up tosses, with the Bandits trying to get back in this ballgame, now trailing by 4. 9-1 and 2 are due up for Brisbane, Sutherland, Caldwell, and Wade. Blue Sox have taken a 6-2 lead over the Auckland Tuatara, thanks to a 5-run inning. If you're a Bandits fan, I'm not sure quite who to tell you who you should be cheering for in that situation. Bandits are a game up on Sydney, and behind only the Tuatara in the Northeast Division. David Sutherland grounded out to second his first time up, but drove home a run in the process. First pitch is a strike. Pfeiffer has thrown now 68 pitches, 38 for strikes. Sutherland takes inside. Foul to the plate. I've said a couple times how there's been a lot going on in this game, and I have a hypothesis, Gons.
All right.
It's the full moon.
It is the full moon. It does do tricks. Trust me, I have two young boys, and at times the full moon plays havoc in my home.
Pfeiffer's pitch. Sutherland lifts it in the air. Left field, routine for Perkins. One down. Lineup turns over for Tim Caldwell.
Well, Canberra's done everything right today. They've done the little things, and we talked about making the adjustments. Their starting pitcher has shown a lot of composure on the mound. When he has gotten in trouble, he's actually been able to battle out of it. But one thing he's done, he's competed for 5. Canberra lead this ball game 6-2, but I said to their credit, they put a lot of pressure on the Bandits pitching staff tonight.
Caldwell rips foul. He's 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. I did mention that Caldwell is the only ABL player to homer off of Pfeiffer this year. That came in Canberra last month. 1-1. And it's also the only home run that Caldwell has hit.
Yeah, I tell you what, if it ends up sticking on the big league roster this year, you can at least put that one in the book.
1-2. If this isn't a sellout, it's close, and while there haven't been too many good Bandits moments, there have been plenty of opportunities to voice your opinion about the quality of the officiating. 2-2.
Look at Timms is still up in the mound right now. He's still heating up for the Bandits, so potentially that might have been the last inning of work for Taylor.
Caldwell got a pitch up and fouled it straight back. Swing and a miss. Caldwell unhappy about the strike zone. Mal Mackay takes off his mask to continue the conversation. And I think Tim Caldwell is saying, I had to swing at that pitch because the strike zone has been all over the place.
And it's a catch-22. I mean, you got to watch the line between calls and balls and strikes. Once you start arguing balls and strikes, they can eject you from the ball game. So got to be very, very careful on your tone in that situation. He's important to the ball club because he does create havoc on the bases.
Here's Logan Wade. Single his last time up. It was the single to right field that ended with Ryan Battaglia out at the plate to end the inning. That was back in the third. Foul to the plate, 1-1. Hit to center and hit well. Podorski going back. He has room shy of the track. It's a 1-2-3 fifth inning, the first one that Pfeiffer has had since the second. And we're on to the sixth in Brisbane. Cavalry up 6-2.
Can't you see my heart is lost without you? And your kisses make me love you more. And your kisses make me love you more. Can't you hear the sound of love and desire?
Beautiful night for baseball in Brisbane. 6-2 Cavs on top as we head to the top of the 6th inning, and the Bandits are the first team to go to the bullpen. Here's Matt Timms coming on for Corey Taylor. Timms has an ERA of 4.50. He's making his 9th appearance, all of them coming in relief. No wins, 1 loss for the veteran righty. In 6 innings, he's allowed 3 runs on 7 hits. Corey Taylor continues to have trouble against the Cavs. Tonight, 6 runs on 10 hits over 5 innings, with 3 walks and 4 strikeouts. Timms will be asked to face the top of the Cavs order: Podorski, Warner, and Nathans. Looking around the league, we told you that the Blue Sox scored 5 runs in the second to take a 6-2 lead over the Tuatara. In Adelaide, it's still knotted up. That was just tied up 2-2 in the third as the Giants even the tally against the visiting Perth Heat. Robbie Podorski has been a factor tonight. He doubled in the first, drove home a run with a sacrifice fly in the fourth. 1 for 2 in total. First pitch, drag bunt up the first base line. Sutherland fields, but there's no one there to cover. They found a seam in the defense, and there's not a whole lot you can do about that when it's laid down that perfectly.
And he's a plus runner. He flies. So no doubt if he gets an opportunity with Timsy, who's not quick to home, he's not slow, but he's probably sits about that 1-2, 1-3. He may test the arm of Martinez early in this at-bat. The other thing is we saw Warner early as well, laying down a bunt, so gives them a few options, either steal, hit and run, see if they can generate some offense.
First from Timms, a strike to Cam Warner. He dropped down a sacrifice bunt in the first and singled in the fourth. Runner goes, swing and a miss, throw down to second is not in time. Looked to be a designed hit and run, but Podorski fast enough to steal the base anyway.
Yeah, it shows how quick. I mean, Timsy right there was a 1-2-9 home. So it's like I said, it's not slow. Slow would be about 1-3 to 1-5. And so, but just his speed and his quickness, so he does create havoc on the bases.
Bounced on the plate, 1-2. Bandits can ill afford to let another run on the top half of the scoreboard. Cavalry have the right guys up to do just that. One-two. Hacked foul. Pitch count for Pfeiffer is at 80, so he has at least one more inning left in him. Swing and a miss. Nasty pitch. It gets Warner, who's tagged to complete the strikeout. Cavs wanted a foul ball, and here comes Keith Ward to maybe finish the job and finally get ejected from this game. You could hear from the crowd mic, he said that's a foul ball, but I didn't see Warner act like it was a foul ball.
No, it was a splitting in the dirt, so I think it's just the sound of the ball hitting and then the hit the catcher's equipment. So I don't think he caught any barrel. So Warner's not saying anything, so I think Wardy's just going to check with him, so potentially just a false alarm.
Tucker Nathans is 0 for 3. Fouled straight back. It'd be great to have Timms at full strength this year, and with only 10 games remaining after tonight, the numbers are going to look much better than they were last year. Such a small sample size for relievers, just a couple bad outings can really throw your ERA out of whack, and that's what happened in 2018 for Matt.
Yeah, and like I said, very, very effective for the Bandits for a long time, and he's a very effective two-pitch guy. Fastball splitty, and probably one of the better setup men in the league.
Swing and a miss, but it goes to the backstop. 90 more feet for Podorski on the wild pitch. And now, the big question, will the infield play in, already trailing by 4?
I think they will, just looking at the managers. Nielsen's bringing his guys in. Timsy's a ground ball guy, obviously with the late action on his split finger. Gets the guys hitting a lot at the top of the baseball and driving to the ground. So, but you got a lot of speed at third base, so anything on the ground will be a tough play at home.
Best case, Timms can strike out Nathans for the second out. He's in the driver's seat 0-2. Swing and a miss. He got the strikeout. Back-to-back Ks for Timms, and it will be left to Zach Wilson.
Yeah, good job by Timsy right there. Good pitch down and away with late action. And like you said, he's still got his work cut out with Wilson at the plate now. Pitch in the dirt. Nice job by Martinez with very little margin for error. He's able to keep the ball close and keep Podorski at third. This has to be the shortest backstop in the league. And the Cavs know that, so they are not going to automatically try and score, but with 2 down, they might be more aggressive than they would otherwise be. 1-0 from Timms. A late strike call. Wilson doesn't like it.
Don't reward mediocrity.
The Timms pitch.
Oh.
And it hits him. And Timms has been warned. Before that last pitch, we heard from the crowd mic, do not reward mediocrity. And I let it stand, but that, I don't think, was an accident. We'll see if anything comes of it. Timms got a strike call that the Cavs didn't like, and we heard, do not reward mediocrity. Can't blame Matt Timms for taking objection to that. First base is filled on the hit by pitch, and now Jarek Suter will bat. Swing and a miss. We don't know anything up here, but we can only tell you what we heard.
Yeah, we did, and like I said, it's competitive down there. There's the game within the game, and there's a lot of conversations that happen that we're not privy to. But these guys are competitors, and Now he's got his work cut out with 2 outs in first and third.
Bounced in the dirt. Coming home is Podorski, and Timms can't get there in time. Cavs get the run. It's a single, a stolen base, and 2 wild pitches. And now it's a 7-2 Canberra lead.
And that's where speed kills. You know, it was a leadoff bunt, stolen base, advances to third, and you're talking about a good block by Martinez. The ball didn't go very far, but this shows how quick he is to score easily with 2 outs, and now that makes it 7-2 in favor of Canberra.
It's the full moon, I'm telling you.
It's the full moon.
1-1. There's a strike. Lifted foul. This is only the top of the 6th inning. A warning was issued to Matt Timms, and I don't believe a warning was issued to the Cavs dugout. If that comes into play, of course, we'll revisit it. Swing and a miss. Suter down on strikes. That ends the inning. But it's an eventful half inning as the Cavs get another run. They now lead at 7-2. You're watching Bandits.tv.
Brett Sports seated ball organizer fits 5 dozen baseballs. Polyester construction means it is durable and its functional pockets allow for flexibility in storage. An adjustable strap and soft cushioned seat means that this organizer is essential for use at training.
So we're back here in the 6th inning. Eric was just quickly checking on a ruling, so hopefully you'll have a little bit of an update.
Well, I just wanted to make sure we were on the same page with the official scores next door. That pertained to the strikeout that ended the 5th inning of Kelvin Melian, the check swing, and I think we got it right. But again, we'll have the post-game press conference, and we'll have a chance to talk to Keith Ward about that and many other things that have transpired already for the first 6 innings of this game. Philip Pfeiffer still out there. He'll face the heart of the Bandits order, beginning with Jeremy Martinez. Martinez flied out to center in the 1st, led off the 4th with a walk, and came home to score on Grant Kay's RBI single. Rip to right field. Long run back for Suter. He won't catch it. One hops off the wall. Martinez rounding first, digging for second. Strong throw in, and he's safe, just barely with a feet-first slide. Another great throw from Suter in the right field corner, but Martinez gets in, and it's a leadoff 2-bagger.
I tell you what, he's got absolute cannon. We'll get a chance to see the replay. Good job by Martinez. Stays inside the baseball, shoots that ball down the right field line. An easy double for most, but then he comes up and absolute cannon to second base, and you got a bang-bang play at second base, and good call by Tommy West.
Here's West Darville. 0 for 2, a grounder to second, and a fly to left. Trailing by 5. First pitch swinging, hit into shallow center. Diving play made by Podorski, and the throwback to second is not in time. Podorski had trouble reading that. When it's hit right at you, these can be very tough balls to judge.
Yeah, he did a really good job. First step was back, but then his speed makes up, and he just outran the baseball and has the awareness to come up for a strike to second, but Martinez able to get back on time, but a really good play by the center fielder.
Now Mitch Nielsen, 0 for 2. He lined out to left his last time up. First pitch is a strike. One and one. No action in the Bandits' pen, so it looks like Matt Timms will go back out for another inning. There's a strike. Ooh, called strike 3. Nielsen thought it was low. And now it's the Bandits' turn to take issue with the strike zone. 2 down. Martinez stole at second after his leadoff double. That's the 8th strikeout of the night for Pfeiffer. Here's Donald Lutz looking to cut into the deficit. He singled to center his last time up. First pitch is a strike. Outlaws are making some noise. Time requested and called at home plate. Lutz into shallow center. Coming on is Podorski, and he makes the catch. The Bandits get a leadoff double from Martinez, but leave him aboard. And we're through 6 innings in Brisbane. Canberra up 7-2 on Bandits.tv.
Great job, Chef.
Thanks.
Who wants a drink?
Let's go, Archer. Beers away.
Thank you, Archer.
Looks like these guys are working up a tropical thirst, Archer.
Thank you, Archer!
Beers to the beach.
Thank you, Archer!
They look thirsty down there in the outback, Archer.
We'll all be there.
Thank you, Archer!
Yeah!
Good boy, Archer.
(7-2) Canberra over Brisbane as we head to the top of the 7th inning at One Hub Stadium. With Paul Gonzalez, this is Eric Bramer. Thanks for joining us tonight. It has been an eventful game. We've had some plays at the plate, some arguments over strike threes and rule interpretations. We had what we think might have been a message sent via a pitch in the square of the back of a Canberra player. Matt Timms is out there for his second inning, and he was a four-time champion, Matt Timms. He has earned respect around this league, and if anyone disrespects him, he's going to say something about it. 6, 7, and 8 due up for the Cavs. Robinson, Perkins, and Perkins against the veteran righty. Chucky Robinson is hitless tonight, but he has scored 2 runs. Reached on a fielder's choice error in the second and walked in the fifth ahead of the Robbie Perkins 2-run double. First pitch is a ball. Round 8 will conclude tomorrow with a doubleheader. 7-inning game 1 will start at 2:30 local time. 9-inning game 2 will be at 6 o'clock. Bounced 2-0. For every Bandits home run hit tomorrow, the team will make a donation of $100 to the Bushfire Appeal. And for every beer sold here at One Hub Stadium tomorrow, $1 will be donated. I might buy a beer after the game. How does that sound?
A few.
Just doing my part.
Doing a few donations.
3-0. Robbie Perkins on deck. Crowd getting a little restless.
Well, they went and they were spoiled. Last night we saw an explosive offense against a tough righty in Hoover, correct?
Yep.
And then tonight just seemed to find the Bandits' numbers. I mean, the Bandits put up a 2 spot, but really have been held to very little, if any, opportunities.
And Pfeiffer is only at 89 pitches through 6 innings, so there's a chance that he might go back out for the 7th. Young fans going after that foul ball.
3-1. Fight.
Ripped down the left field line. That's fair into the corner. Extra bases for Robinson, picked up by Nielsen. He gets it back in. Stand-up double to lead off the 7th inning.
And once again, Canberra continue to put pressure on the Bandits early. A number of leadoff base hits for Canberra, and they've been able to capitalize on most of their opportunities.
Robbie Perkins is next. He has not been retired tonight. He walked and scored in the second, singled and scored to lead off the 4th, and then hit a 2-out, 2-run double in the 5th inning before coming around on the Kyle Perkins double a batter later. Tim steps off. There's a strike. Perkins, who caught last night and is the DH tonight, thought it was low.
Well, he had a big night last night with 2 for 4, and then you said 3 hits tonight, so he's always swung the bat extremely well here in One Hub Stadium.
There's Justin Erasmus getting loose in the Bandits' pen. He pitched the final inning last night. Timms readies the 0-2. Struck out the side in the 6th. Low and away 1-2. Two and two. Timms has faced 6 batters and retired 3 of them. They've all been via the strikeout. He's also uncorked a pair of wild pitches, and he almost had a third. 3-2 now, with Kyle Perkins on deck. It is not a distant memory, the championship series between these two clubs a couple years ago. That got pretty fiery. Last year, these two teams met in the semifinal round. Names on the back might change, but the name in the front stays the same. And enough people remember to make that a narrative here. Fouled off. Bandits and Aces from 2 weeks ago. Those two teams don't get along, but I think it's safe to say when you win 4 consecutive championships, you make a lot of enemies on your way to the top, right? That's just a fact of life.
Yeah, and the guys are competitive. It's a close league, and talking about, these guys have competed for a number of years. It was an interview yesterday talking with Perkins, talking about facing Bollinger. He's seen him now for a number of years.
It's a strikeout. It'll require a throw, and Perkins is retired, but in the process, Robinson goes to third base. It's the third wild pitch by Timms in his outing.
He gets the out, but the runner is allowed to advance, so Robinson moves over to third base. And once again, Canberra continue to put pressure on the Bandits with only 1 out. And once again, it brings up another Perkins, who's had a big night tonight as well.
Kyle Perkins is 3 for 3, 2-run double in the second, a single in the fourth, and an RBI double in the fifth. Infield playing in with Robinson, the catcher, at third base. First pitch is a strike. Double-barreled action in the Bandits' pen. We saw Erasmus. Now it appears the lefty Rick Teasley might be up. No, that's Ryan Bollinger, and he started yesterday, so he's not pitching. He's just standing. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Ryan must just be keeping his friends company back there.
That's it. It's a tight quarters in the Bandits' dugout, so I think he's looking for a little bit more real estate in the bullpen.
Timms could use a strikeout. All 4 of his outs have come via the K. Ripped to left field and deep. Nielsen going back. He won't catch it, and it is gone. A 2-run home run for Kyle Perkins. He's 4 for 4, and he's driven in 5. It's a 9-2 Cavs lead. Timms got ahead, but couldn't put Perkins away. A pitch was left up. Kyle Perkins didn't miss it.
Yeah, he's had a really good day today and got a pitch up in the zone and absolutely crushed that ball to left field. And now that makes it 9-2 in favor of Canberra. We get a chance to see the replay here. Actually, no, we won't. But just left the ball up on a very hot hitter tonight.
Here's Kelvin Melian. Still hasn't gotten in on the act. Hitless last night and 0 for 2 with a sacrifice tonight. Takes inside, instinctually moving his hands away from the pitch. That's how he struck out his last time. It was a controversial call. He was hit in the wrist or the hand, but home plate umpire Mal Mackay ruled that he swung and it was a dead ball, strike 3. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Looking around the league, the Tuatara have climbed back into their game in Sydney. It's still a Blue Sox 6-4 advantage in the fourth. And it's still tied up at 2 between the Giants and the Heat in Adelaide. That game is in the fifth. Pumped up foul and out of play. Ain't no mountain high enough. And it's going to be a tall mountain for the Bandits to climb to get back in this game. Popped up foul again, out of play.
There's still plenty of baseball. We're in the 7th inning, but it is now Canberra with the big lead at 9-2, so there's plenty of work to go. So from the Bandits' perspective, they've got to continue to find ways to chip away, but along that, it's just keep that positive mindset at the plate, because you still got another 2 ball games tomorrow, which are critical ball games for both ball clubs.
Ball,
2-2 to Melian. Melian will complete the trip through the order for Timms, who began the 6th inning facing Robbie Podorski on deck. 2-2. Fouled at the plate. Melian just got a piece. Hit foul again. Melian is hanging tough and forcing Timms to throw a whole bunch of pitches. Missing upstairs, 3-2. Podorski on deck, and Erasmus looks ready in the Bandits' pen, regardless of how this plate appearance ends. Foul back.
It's like Dan Nielsen running down probably just to see where Erasmus is at, just making sure he's hot. Nielsen sent him down just to check on his status.
That great bullpen camera angle that is provided to us. Feels like we're spying on them down there. It's like we're seeing something we shouldn't. 3-2. Ball 4.
That'll bring Nielsen out. That might be it for Timsy tonight.
No move yet, but that's almost certainly why he's out here. Timms faces 9 men, strikes out 4, but the other 5 either reach or circle the bases. It's a 9-2 Cavs lead, and Justin Erasmus will come on to try and stop the bleeding.
It's always been you.
It's always been us.
Bandits trail by 7, and they go deeper into their bullpen for the second time in as many nights. It's Justin Erasmus. We are receiving word that for some reason the Zach Wilson hit by pitch in the 6th inning was deemed a single back to the pitcher. And I don't know how that could have happened. We'll try and get that fixed. We were talking about it as it happened. It was a pitch that hit Wilson in the back.
Yes.
Well, we've got a game to call, so we'll try and take care of that in the commercial break. We're the last line of defense, I guess, against incorrect calls. The line for Timms is not fully set in stone because he's responsible for Melion at first, but an inning and a third with 3 runs on 4 hits, a walk, 4 strikeouts, 1 home run. And they've only got him with 2 wild pitches. There's a wild pitch for Erasmus, allowing Melion to take second base. I would have thought that Timms would have a 3rd wild pitch, allowing Robinson to go from 2nd to 3rd on the 3rd strike to Perkins. We'll see how that was entered in the play-by-play. Now they just said he went to 3rd. Well, Matt won't mind that. We'll take the wild pitch out of my scorebook with my erasable pen.
I blame the full moon.
I'm telling you, man, it's something's up.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but the stars are definitely not aligning tonight. Definitely aligned for Canberra.
Erasmus worked the 9th and final inning last night, retiring the Cavs in order. He faced Robbie Perkins, Kyle Perkins, and Kelvin Melion. So this will be a fresh look for them. Erasmus has an ERA of 6.94. There's a strike called against Podorski. He thought it was ball 4. Melion dancing off of second, and a pitch later, there is the actual ball 4. That'll bring in Cam Warner. Warner is 1 for 3. He dropped down a sacrifice in the 1st and singled in the 4th. Base hit to left field. Rounding 3rd, coming home is Melion. He'll score. It's bobbled by Nielsen. Into 3rd is Podorski. Warner takes a big turn at 1st and will hold up there with an RBI single. It's now 10-2 Cavalry.
Tell you what, the Cavalry came back and they reverse engineered from game 1 to game 2, and tell you what, they've swung the bats exactly what their team batting average stated, 294 yesterday, 293 today, and that average will go up after tonight.
That will also close the book on Matt Timms, who ultimately allows 4 runs in his inning and a 3rd. Now Tucker Nathans will bat. First pitch misses outside and low. Not the type of game the Bandits were looking for after such an encouraging start to round 8. Last night winning 12-2. In on the hands, low hop. Kay to Wade, and the throw goes into left field. Podorski will come home. Warner goes first to third. It could have been a double play. Instead, no outs are recorded, and it's another run on the board for Canberra, now 11-2.
Yeah, just a weird play right there. He made a good play to his left. The ball was not hit hard by any means. Logan covered second base from shortstop. Ball got by him. That allows to run the score. Now first and third and only one out. And you still got, now you've got the big boppers at the plate with Wilson due up.
Wilson is the 8th man to bat in the inning. We'll see how that's ruled. It'll be an error on somebody, and it's the third of the game for the Bandits. Swing and a miss. Still only one out in the inning. 1-1. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Erasmus delivers low, it's 2-2. Cavs have out-hit the Bandits now 15-5, at least according to the official box score, which we know has some errors that will be corrected. Grounded up the middle off the mound, fielded by Wade. He goes to the bag and throws to first. There's the double play that finally ends the 7th inning. But 4 more runs score for the Cavalry, and they've opened up an 11-2 lead as we stretch in Brisbane.
Can't you see my heart is lost without you? And your kisses make me love you more. And your kisses make me love you more. Can't you hear the sound of love and desire?
Cavalry over the Bandits as we head to the bottom half of the 7th inning. With Paul Gonzalez, this is Eric Bramer. What a night we've had. It'll be the bottom third of the order due up for the Bandits. Kay, Battaglia, and Sutherland against Philip Pfeiffer, who's still out there on the mound. Ball one misses to Kay, who is 2 for 2 with a double and an RBI single, his first 2 ABL hits.
I think we've answered our question. Obviously, Atlanta haven't put any pitch restrictions on him because you would think with an 11-3 lead, or excuse me, 11-2 lead, that would be a night for him and you'd close the books. But his pitch count's still fairly low, and like I said, his efficiencies have been outstanding tonight.
McKay sends a high fly down the left field line. Might be home run distance if it stays fair, and it is foul.
Tommy West called that foul on the third base line, so
out of our view, we got to take the umpire's word for it.
No, I got a chance to see it, and it did had the distance, but just foul of the fair pole.
McKay is seeing the ball much better tonight. So I went over next door during the last inning break, and the latest play in question was the hit by pitch of Wilson in the 6th inning that we thought might have been a purpose pitch. 3-1 to K. And apparently the official scorers received a message from the bat boy from the umpire that was a single. And you have to give everyone the benefit of the doubt and say that something was lost in the game of telephone, but we saw it. It hit him right in the middle of the back, right?
It's something. It's the full moon, Eric. It's the full moon.
Oh, boy. What a night. Here's Ryan Battaglia. He hasn't put the ball in play tonight. He walked in the 3rd and struck out in the 4th. Battaglia rips it to left field. It's deep, and it is gone! Ryan Battaglia with a 2-run shot. The Bandits need a whole lot more, but it's a start. It's now 11-4. For Battaglia, his 2nd of the year, he doubles his RBI total. And he circles the bases with an Empire Jerky home run.
Get a chance to see the replay again, and pitches middle in, and he actually crushed that ball to left field. And we talked about the Bandits still need to find ways to get some offensive momentum. You still have 2 big games tomorrow. Not saying this game's over, but you want to see your guys swing the bat, particularly against good pitching. They'll face potentially another lefty tomorrow. So these guys get a chance to, like there's going to be a pinch hitter. Is that Dan Nielsen at the plate?
Dan Nielsen will hit for David Sutherland, lefty for lefty switch. Sutherland was the first baseman, so there will have to be some defensive changes made. Nielsen with a drive, left field and deep. Perkins is back. This time he has room, and on the edge of the track he makes the catch. Out number 1. Bandits have hit the ball hard a couple times against Pfeiffer in his 7th inning of work.
And no real threat. I mean, he's not struggling by any means. He's still got command. He's still throwing strikes, and that's exactly what you want to see your starter do. Force the guys to swing the bats. If you get beat, you get beat. But at this stage, he's got a commanding lead here in the 7th.
Tim Caldwell would like to put the ball in play. He's 0 for 3 with 3 swinging strikeouts. He's been frustrated a bit with the strike zone as well. First pitch misses.
Well, he's got good stuff, and like I said, for Atlanta to obviously they've identified, and they'll send him to big league camp this year.
Caldwell with a liner, left center, that's down for a hit. Over to pick it up quickly is Podorski, and trailing by 7, the Bandits are in no mood to make outs on the bases. But Caldwell does hit the ball sharply, and he has a base hit, his first of the series. That'll bring in Logan Wade. And at some point, you might see Keith Ward coming out to make a pitching change. Pitch count for Pfeiffer is very nearly approaching 100. Wade is 1 for 3 with a single. Wade chops foul. Next pitch for Pfeiffer will be his 100th. Wade chops off the plate to 3rd. Warner to Nathans, and they do get the out at second base. Throw was high, but Nathans was evidently able to keep his foot on the base. 2 down. 5-4 fielder's choice, and now Jeremy Martinez.
Looks like another pinch hitter at the plate.
Jay Myers. Martinez the catcher, so that's an easy sub.
On local news, I think I mentioned earlier in the piece, Australian Youth Championship started today in Melbourne, and so the under-16s and under-18s teams are now competing at the national championships. I think they've got 3 fields. They're playing Geelong, Melbourne, and Ballarat. They'll be hosting the 2020 Australian Youth Championships.
Myers making his season debut. He's 23 years old. Taking up and away 1-1. Myers in his Bandits career is 4 for 11 at the plate with 1 RBI. Last year went 1 for 3.
So his bubblegum card looks pretty good.
Spends a lot of time as the Bandits bullpen catcher. And he's got a good eye at the plate. We saw him and some of the other younger guys on the periphery of the roster taking BP today on the field. They're the last group, but they're swinging just as hard as anyone else. And in a game that, at least for the time being, is out of reach, they're getting a chance to make their mark. 3-1 to Myers with Wes Darville on deck. And if you get Darville to the plate and he does what he did last night, hitting a 3-run home run, well, then suddenly you've got a ball game again. It's a walk. Darville will have his chance. Will it be against Pfeiffer? It'll be a lefty-lefty matchup, so you weigh a fresh arm against the handedness of Pfeiffer, and it's going to be the de facto pitching coach, last night's starter J.J. Hoover, coming out to talk strategy. Darville tonight is 0 for 3, but he's hit the ball hard a couple times. He was robbed of a base hit to center his last time up on a diving play made by Podorski charging in. In the inning, a leadoff walk to Kay, a 2-run homer for Battaglia. Pinch hitter Dan Nielsen sent one to the warning track and left on a flyout. Caldwell singled. Wade wrapped into a fielder's choice that was almost a throwing error on the third baseman Warner. Myers with the walk in his pinch hitting appearance. Bandits are one big swing away from getting this crowd back in it. Wade at second, Myers at first. Pfeiffer's pitch, blown away. Pfeiffer has now surpassed his season high in pitches thrown of 107. That was back in his first start against Melbourne in late November. There's a strike, 1-1. And that silences the Outlaws, who were eager to start a ball 6 chant. Darville checks his swing. It's taken for a ball, 2-1. This game feels a lot closer than 7 runs. Pfeiffer's pitch. Darville sends a high fly into left. Perkins is there. He's underneath it, and he makes the catch. That does it for the Bandits in the 7th inning. They get 2 back on the Battaglia home run. As we head to the 8th, it's 11-4 Canberra on Bandits.tv.
Great job, Chef.
Thanks.
Who wants a drink?
Thank you, Archer.
Looks like these guys are working up a tropical thirst, Archer.
Thank you, Archer!
Beers to the beach.
Thank you, Archer!
They look thirsty down there in the outback, Archer.
We'll all be.
Thank you, Archer. Yeah.
Good boy, Archer.
Bandits trail by 7 to the Cavalry in Game 2 of Round 8 as we head to the top of the 8th inning. Bandits took Game 1 by a convincing margin last night, and so far the Cavs have turned the tables. They've scored in each of the last 4 innings with 4 runs in the 7th, really putting things out of reach, at least for the time being. It'll be 5, 6, and 7 due up for the Cavalry, beginning with Jarek Suter. Justin Erasmus got the final 2 outs of the 7th inning, and he delivers a strike to the right fielder. Defensive changes for the Bandits. Dan Nielsen pinch hit for David Sutherland, and Nielsen goes out to left field. That moves Mitch Nielsen to first base, where Sutherland was playing. And behind the plate is Jay Myers, who pinch hit for Jeremy Martinez. Oh-2. Lifted to left center field. That'll fall in front of Colwell for a leadoff single. Jarek Suter now is 3 for 5. And it's the second time that he's started an inning with a base hit.
And once again, a leadoff hit for the Cavalry. They started off with the leadoff double to start the game, and he didn't capitalize that opportunity, but Canberra's actually done a very good job tonight of putting pressure on the Bandits and putting up a big number.
Now Chucky Robinson, who's 1 for 3 with a double and 3 runs scored. Anytime you score 11 runs, you're going to see some weird individual stat lines.
Who doesn't have a hit?
Well, for the Cavalry, Tucker Nathans is 0 for 5. And Kelvin Melian is 0 for 2, but he's dropped down a sacrifice and scored after walking. It's been a busy night. And again, we encourage you to stick around after the game for our post-game press conference. Bandits have an arm loosening in the pen. Looks like that might be Mitchell Hewson, one of the younger players on this squad, getting some opportunities to play at home. Swing and a miss. And you never say that you're going to, give up on this game. It's not in anyone's nature to give up, but with 2 games coming up tomorrow, now is as good a chance as any to get some young guys in and make sure your starters are rested for a pretty important day on Saturday. Liner right back to Erasmus. He catches, and he'll flip to first to complete the double play. That ball found Justin Erasmus, and it went right into his glove, somehow not going through the glove. Let's take another look. Wow, right there.
Good job by Erasmus right there. There we say charge the ball. He charged that line drive and not able to come up with a big play and turns it into 2. So once again, it's about getting outs, and Erasmus done a good job in his relief appearance.
Now Robbie Perkins. Perkins is 2 for 3 with 3 runs scored. His biggest hit, a 2-run double back in the 5th that came with 2 down. First pitch is a strike. Check swing 1-1.
There's an unhappy fan. So obviously he wants to see the Bandits score more runs.
Missing down 2-1. Swing and a miss. 2-2.
I don't think we got a chance to acknowledge David Candelas for Canberra. He's not in the lineup tonight, but last night competed in his 250th game against the Bandits. So congratulations to him for his milestone.
Yeah, 250. It's a big number in the ABL, especially when you're only playing 40 games a year. There's a called strike 3, and Erasmus faces just 3 men in a scoreless top of the 8th inning. Bandits need to make something happen. They trail 11-4 as we head to the home half of the 8th. You're watching Bandits.tv.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
No one knows what the future of transportation will look like. Robots. But no matter what, Enterprise can help. You can rent a car for a road trip. Look, kids, nature. Oh, wow. You can rent a truck for a move. You can buy a car, commute in a van pool, or get picked up because your car is in a pool. My bad. Count on Enterprise, no matter where transportation goes next.
Let's go.
I love the future. How can Enterprise pick you up today?
Hey, Thomas.
Yeah?
Is it fun playing at festivals?
It's pretty good, mate. You get to see amazing places, meet new people. Everyone's just pumped to be there. And you get to do the sign-off.
Queensland, where life's beautiful one day and perfect the next.
11-4, Cavalry over the Bandits, and as we head to the home half of the 8th inning, Canberra goes into the bullpen and brings out a familiar face, Josh Warner.
You know, we haven't seen Josh in a number of years. Josh actually was with the Bandits in early 2011-12, I believe. He was a Phillies farmhand, an emerging prospect with the organization. And at that time, manager Kevin Jordan, who was with the Phillies organization, played in the big leagues with the Phillies for a number of years, was on that coaching staff. So great to see him back on the bump and competing for Canberra.
Philip Pfeiffer went 7 innings, and he allowed 4 runs, which is a worse than usual start for him, but it was enough on a night when his offense gave him 11 runs of support. 7 hits, 4 walks, 8 strikeouts for the lefty. He looked pretty good.
He looked great, and he was relaxed. He really never got himself into too much pressure and came up with some big pitches. The hits he did give and conceded were really irrelevant at this part of the game, but like I said, he came out and competed in exactly what the Canberra Cavalry needed.
Here's Mitch Nielsen 0 for 3. He takes down and in. Well, Warner played in parts of 4 seasons for the Bandits. 2010, 2011, 2012, and then back in 2015. It's his second year with the Cavalry. And this is his 6th relief outing. He's allowed 5 runs in 8 innings for an ERA of 5.63. The big issue for him has been control. 11 walks in 8 innings to 7 strikeouts. It's 2-1. That was an issue for him last year, for that matter. In his first year with the Cavalry, he walked 17 batters in 13 2/3 innings. And now he's fallen behind the leadoff man, 3-1. Nielsen, Lutz, and K2 up.
The most innings thrown obviously goes back into 2010. He was with the Bandits. 17 innings pitched. And at that stage, he gave up 15 hits, 11 runs, 11 earned, 5 home runs with a batting average against of 238. So batting average wasn't strong and then progressively went up. But number of years in the ABL, 2010, 11, 12, 15, 18, and 19.
And pinch hitting for Donald Lutz is Jacob Nielsen. Good to see him back on the playing field. Second round that he's been active. And this will be his second at bat. He takes a strike. Jacob Nielsen, the son of manager David Nielsen. Jacob has fought valiantly through some very serious health issues, and it's a testament to his perseverance that he is playing professional baseball right now. Taken up high, 1-1. Beg your pardon, Jacob is now playing in his 4th game. He's 0 for 4 at the plate. The one thing that can get the Bandits back in this game is Warner having trouble finding the strike zone. Looks like that's the case.
And that's what you need. If you can find a way, chase the pitch up in the zone, but if you can find a way to chip away, like I said, it is the 8th inning. It is an 11-4 ball game, but just find a way to run into a couple of base hits and a big shot. At least get yourself back in this ball game.
Called strike 3, and that's out number 1. Nielsen did not like that call. Up next is Grant Kay, who's had a nice night at the plate. 2 for 2 with a double, an RBI single, and a walk. He scored 2 runs, and in the plate appearance that ended in a walk, he almost hit his first ABL home run. It went just foul.
Yeah, and look, and that's what the Bandits want to see. You know, with the back end of the season, they've got 2 more series after this series. Obviously, 2 more games tomorrow.
Pitch to the backstop. Robinson scampers after it, but Nielsen will take second base without a throw.
They've got the Sydney series, and then they've got the road trip to Auckland. So to get this man hot at the plate, and obviously defensively he's been outstanding. That's exactly what the Bandits need from him, is a bit of offensive production, and that's a good way to finish out the year and push for that playoff spot.
At the knees for a strike, it's 1-1.
Josh's velocity looks up. I mean, I hadn't seen him pitch in a number of years, but he's filled out since the days he was with the Bandits, and physically, and looks like he's throwing the ball extremely well. He threw the ball well when he was with the Phillies organization and the Bandits, and so he's been allowed to continue to roll it over.
Warner delivers and just misses the corner, 2-2. The Bandits have now made what we believe is all of their possible bench moves. The only position player remaining on the bench is Wade Dutton, and he was a late scratch from the original lineup as he's dealing with slight neck discomfort. Probably craned his neck looking at that long home run last night.
Tell you what,
low and away, count runs full. First base is open. Battaglia waits on deck. He homered his last time up. 3-2, foul tip, hung on to by Robinson. Strikeout for out number 2. That'll leave it to Battaglia.
Once again, another big out right there, and just squared back and threw it by him, but just showing really good command. You mentioned earlier in the piece, walks have been probably to his detriment, but right now he seems to be throwing within himself and keeping the ball down in the strike zone.
Battaglia is 1 for 2 with his 2-run homer in the 7th and a walk back in the 3rd. First pitch misses above the letters. Canberra has led from the word go, scoring 2 runs in the 2nd. Inside 2-0. Bandits cut the deficit to 1 in the 3rd at a 2-1 margin, and then again in the 4th at a 3-2 margin, but the tying run was cut down at the plate in the 3rd as Battaglia was thrown out at home plate by the right fielder Jarek Suter. 2-0. Battaglia takes a strike, 2-1. Some nights, there are just more 50-50 calls, and I think that's been the case tonight for home plate umpire Mal Mackay. You might notice we have refrained from giving our opinion on things, but You can hear the crowd. You can hear sometimes the dugouts, and that's been part of the narrative tonight. Both teams have been unhappy with the way things have gone from the men in black. 3-1 to Battaglia. Dan Nielsen on deck. Fouled straight back, almost into the glove of Robinson. Looking around the league, Sydney have opened up an 8-4 lead on the Tuatara. That game is in the bottom of the 5th inning. And in Adelaide, it's still tied 2-2 between the Giants and the Heat. That game is in the 7th.
So once again, we just talk about the balance of the league, and Sydney's still playing good baseball, and they're playing a tough Tuatara team and leading that ball game. And
payoff pitch to Battaglia. Low and away, ball 4. No one's put the ball in play in the inning. A pair of walks have sandwiched a pair of strikeouts, and now Dan Nielsen will have a chance. In his pinch-hitting appearance in the 7th, he lifted a fly ball to the warning track and left, almost hitting it out to the opposite field.
Tell you what, next series matchups are pretty strong. We talked about Canberra and Auckland going head-to-head, and then the Giants will take on the Aces. And then we'll have the Blue Sox here, so that'll be a good matchup, and then Perth and Geelong in Geelong.
Blue Sox are without Gift and Gope and Alex Maestri.
And that's a big factor. You know, those
Absolutely
are two impact guys. You got good starter in Maestri, and then your star shortstop and very good hitter now out of that lineup.
Outlaws are making some noise. They've even got a noisemaker and a little sign. Good for them. 0-2. Nielsen swings and misses. Bizarre inning for Warner, who strikes out 3 and walks 2, putting up a 0 when it's all said and done. On to the 9th, 11-4 Canberra on Bandits.tv.
The Brett Sports seated ball organizer fits 5 dozen baseballs. Polyester construction means it is durable, and its functional pockets allow for flexibility in storage. An adjustable strap and soft cushion seat means that this organizer is essential for use at training.
11-4 Cavalry over the Bandits as we head to the top of the 9th inning. And the youth movement continues for Brisbane as Mitchell Hewson takes over for the 9th inning. 8-9-1 due up for the Cavalry. It'll be Perkins, Melian, and Podorski against Hewson, who is making his 3rd appearance in a Bandits uniform. First pitch is a strike. Hewson has pitched an inning and 2/3 scoreless. He began the year with the Auckland Tuatara, allowed 6 earned runs in 3 2/3 innings over 3 outings. Chopped foul 0-2. But Hewson is back where he's most comfortable in Australia. And he will try and keep this a 7-run game in the off chance that the Bandits can put something together in the home half. Low and away, chase pitch, and Perkins lays off. Perkins has had a great game. In fact, he's a triple away from the cycle. 4 for 4 with a single, 2 doubles, and a home run. He's driven in 5. This is not a triple-friendly ballpark, however.
No, it's not. I mean, he'd have to do something unique, like hit one off one of the poles in the outfield and then have it to carry him and then leg it out. So it's a tough ballpark to hit a triple. So if he does, it'll be a well-earned cycle.
Bounced in the dirt. And cleaning up the pinch hitting appearance of Jacob Nielsen in the 8th inning. He's now out in right field. Straight switch for Donald Lutz, who went 1 for 3 tonight with a single. Three-two, ball 4. Perkins comes back and draws a leadoff walk. He's reached base all 5 times tonight. And now Kelvin Melian.
So do you have Mitch at first?
Yep.
Jacob in right?
Yep.
And Dan in left?
Yep. And David in the dugout. It's a family affair here in Brisbane. Justin Erasmus went an inning and 2/3, allowing 1 run on 2 hits with a walk and a strikeout. Popped foul. One and 2. Houston hoping to avoid the result of the last 0-2 count that he had. Ended up in a walk. Melian fouls back. They've got Erasmus allowing an earned run in his inning and 2/3, and I don't necessarily disagree. I trust that they've gone through the proper protocols, but there was that error that was eventually given to Kay on the potential double play, just on the other side of the netting. Because without the error, you would think that Podorski would have been out at second base. Warner would not have scored. I don't think that should be an earned run, but we'll see. Up and away, 2-2. Fouled straight back. In the bottom of the 9th inning, the Bandits will send up the top third of their order, but it, of course, doesn't look much like their original lineup. It'll be Colwell, Wade, and Jay Myers. They would need to score at least 7 runs to force extra innings or win it. In on the hands, cracked to right field. Back now in is Nielsen. He's there and he makes the catch. Robbie Podorski will bat next. Podorski is 2 for 3 with a double, an RBI, and a walk. He fouls back.
I think that's Miranda's theme song.
Low by Flo Rida. Reminds me of a middle school dance. 0-2.
I think somebody said, Max, you would have been about 7 when that song was on, and I said,
Yeah.
I was about 40.
1 and 2. Well, Lowe is a T-Pain and Flo ride it together. I don't want to give one credit without the other.
It's the moon.
Swing and a miss. Foul tip. And Myers hangs on. That's out number 2. It'll be left to Cam Warner.
Good pitch right there on a tough hitter. He's been pretty tough on the Bandits tonight. He actually started all the fireworks tonight and said it's been quite the battle between these two teams.
Talk about all the Nielsen's on this Bandits roster. The Cavalry have a couple of Warners, a couple of Perkinses. They're not all that different.
I'll tell you what, and if you look in Perth, there used to be the Keneally's, 3 of them all competing. So
Kay makes the catch. It's a scoreless 9th inning, and the Bandits will have one more chance to rally and come back. It's 11-4 on Bandits.tv.
Can't you see my heart is lost without you? And your kisses make me love you more. And your kisses make me love you more. Can't you hear the sound of love and desire?
Look at that beautiful full moon. Does your son Max, who is the DJ here, does he play Debussy? Can get some Clair de Lune going. Under the light of the moon tonight, we have had a bizarre game. And right now, it's the Cavs on top of the Bandits by a score of 11-4. Cavalry will send out Shingo Hirata to try and finish things off. Josh Warner struck out 3 and walked 2 in his scoreless 8th inning. It'll be the top of the order due up for the Bandits, Caldwell, Wade, and Myers. Now, we've been joking about it all night, but there is some pseudo-scientific evidence that people do behave strangely under the full moon. Now, in the olden days, they had remarked that crime rates were higher and stuff, but they hypothesized that that is because it was easier to see. Fastball outside. Caldwell is 1 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Back in the days before street lamps and street lights, if the moon was shining, you had more visibility at night and you could go out and commit more crimes. So I don't know if there's an actual physiological response to the full moon, but there is research that's been done into people changing their behaviors as if we're werewolves or something.
What, tonight? Not in our favor.
Caldwell out in front, rolls it over towards first, fielded by Wilson, and that's out number 1. We'll remind you again as we take a look at the Outlaw Cam. After the game, we'll have a post-game press conference. Plenty to talk about. I'll try and remember what happened in the first half of this game because there's so many different things to go over. Logan Wade tonight is 1 for 4 with a single back in the 3rd. First pitch is a strike. Hirata, making his 6th appearance, has no wins and no losses with an ERA of 3.18. Hirata, one of a couple Japanese players on loan from the Yokohama DNA Bay Stars. Hirata is by no means a young pup. He's 30 years old. Wade fights off the 0-2 pitch. The win will go to Pfeiffer. The loss will go to Taylor. For Pfeiffer, he'll improve to 3-1. Taylor will fall to 5-3. No save, though the Bandits would love to somehow force a save situation tonight. Round 8 will even up at 1 game apiece. The Cavalry will go back up by a game over the Bandits in the standings, inside 1 and 2. And that will set the stage for a big day of baseball here tomorrow. Weather looks good. Expecting a big crowd, so if you have your tickets already, get here early. If you don't have your tickets yet, go to brisbanebandits.com.au. And if you're unable to make it, join us here on Bandits.tv. First pitch of Game 1 is at 2:30, and Game 2 will be at 6 local time. Long night for Mal Mackay. He's heard it out of both ears, and he got a foul ball there in the bottom of the 9th inning. That's just not fair.
I think Robinson also might have got a bit of that as well, so it has been a long night. Canberra came back out and decided they were going to turn the tide around, and it is 11-4 in the 9th, and they look fantastic tonight.
Swing and a miss. Wade down on strikes. He's tagged to complete the strikeout, and the Bandits are down to their final out. It'll be Jay Myers trying to extend the ball game. Here's some good news. This is only the 8th game that the Bandits have played this year that has gone longer than 3 hours.
Yeah, it has been a long one.
But only 3 hours and 12 minutes as we speak right now. If that's as long as baseball games go, then you got to feel pretty good. And another one got Mal Mackay.
Yeah, that got him, I think, in the forearm right there. That one would have hurt. Robinson just going to give him a little bit more time, yet got him in the forearm. I know we talked about that. Even if they stand off to the right, I know they don't want to wear a forearm guard, but I tell you what, they're just so exposed.
Myers drew a walk in his pinch hitting appearance back in the 7th. Tomorrow for the Bandits, it'll be Tim Atherton in Game 1 and Travis Blackley in Game 2. Myers swings and misses. Bandits down to their final strike. For the Cavalry, it'll be Shinichi Onuki going in Game 1. They have not listed a starter for Game 2. Taken down 1 and 2. Swing and a miss. It's in the dirt. It'll require a throw. Myers is retired, and the Cavalry even up round 8. 11-4 the final as they ride some early offense to a series evening victory here in Brisbane. There are the totals on the board. Bandits just couldn't get enough offense to keep up with the Cavs, and it sets up a big doubleheader tomorrow to wrap things up. We'll wrap things up from the broadcast booth, but we don't want you to go anywhere. In just a few short moments, we'll have the postgame press conference with reactions from both clubs, managers, and some of the star players. For Paul Gonzalez, this is Eric Bramer signing off for now. Join us tomorrow for the doubleheader right here on Bandits.tv. Hello, everybody, and welcome on in to the Brisbane Bandits postgame press conference. Canberra Cavalry even up round 8 tonight with a victory 11-4 over the Bandits, and we are joined in the postgame press conference by the manager Keith Ward, center fielder Robbie Podorski, the Thursday night starter J.J. Hoover, and tonight's starting pitcher Philip Pfeiffer. We start with a question for manager Keith Ward. We talked last night about the rust that you guys had to shake off, and you turned the tables tonight with a pretty convincing victory. What did you like out of your team?
Look, obviously we battled hard at the plate tonight as a start. I thought 1 through 9, all the guys swung the bats well. We actually mounted a lot of pressure, and forced their guys to throw competitive pitches time after time. So after a while, that wears you down. And we talk about having quality at-bats and making sure that we get the guy that's hitting behind you quality pitches to hit through having a quality at-bat. And I thought that we did a really good job last night. And then on the flip side of that, obviously, Phil threw a fantastic game for us tonight. We spoke before the game about him going out there and throwing 7 innings, and he certainly delivered.
Yeah, he went 110 pitches tonight, yep. And 4 runs is more than he's accustomed to allowing. But obviously tonight he had the offense behind him. What was he doing well?
Look, we know that he throws quality off-speed pitches, but he's also got a fastball that can challenge anybody in the league. But the key for Phil more than anything is just getting ahead, throwing strikes, and trusting his stuff. And he did a great job again tonight.
Phil's stock is rising in American baseball, and I know you have to balance your obligations with that. At this point in the season, do your expectations for him change?
Not at all. Not at all. Phil's out here to pitch. And from the get-go, he's been a team-orientated guy where he's basically said to us, anything you need, I'm prepared to give you. And from the first game of the season, he's gone out there and done exactly that. If the pitch counts in around that 100 mark, we probably extended him a little bit tonight, but throwing the ball so well with a decent lead, we were comfortable going out there and running up to 105 or 110 pitches.
Finally, I don't know if it was the full moon or what, but there was a lot of weird stuff going on in the game tonight. I won't ask you about everything, but I do want to get your understanding of that Melion hit-by-pitch, dead ball, third strike call.
Yeah, look, it was obviously a tricky situation for me because, I thought it wasn't even a check swing. I thought he flinched at it, shut the swing down as it was up and in, and he tried to bail out of the way and it hit him on the hands. Mel thought that he swung at it enough to call it a strike. And obviously whether it hits his hands or not, if he swings at it, it's a strike, and obviously strike 3 in that situation. So obviously we had a fairly lengthy conversation about the interpretation of the check swing and whether he was actually just trying to get out of the way of the pitch or not. Mal promised me he's going to go and check the video after the game and let me know whether I was right or wrong tomorrow. So we had a pretty good conversation about it, and it's one of those things where you're not necessarily going to win that, but he thought he got a good look at it, and at the end of the day we've got to live with that.
So was it more of a rule interpretation thing, or did you just want him to appeal the call to the base umpire?
Look, ultimately I wanted him to just check with the first base umpire on whether it was a check swing, and he thought he got a good look at it. It's one of those calls where it's his judgment. And some go your way, some don't. Obviously, I would have liked that to have gone my way, but it's part of baseball.
All right, next question for Philip Pfeiffer, who got the win tonight, improving to 3-1, and pitched well against the Bandits a few weeks ago. And I'm sure you'd heard stories about the difficulties of pitching in this ballpark. What was your approach tonight?
Just try and throw the ball at the bottom of the zone, let him put it into the ground. And we did a really good job of that. There was that long top 7, and kind of lost it there for the beginning of the bottom of the 7th. But other than that, I feel like we executed, just try and keep the ball in front of the outfielders.
How much does it mean to you to have that faith from your manager to finish what you started?
It's huge. Going out into the 7th inning there with that lead, like the idea is to save the bullpen. As a starter, like that's one of the, biggest things you need to do is stick up for your fellow pitchers and bail them out when you can. And tonight was one of those nights where I had the opportunity to do that. And I'm glad he left me out there.
Next question is for J.J. Hoover. I couldn't help but notice that you started last night's ball game, and tonight you were coming out and talking to your starting pitcher. What do you see your role as a veteran leader on this team, and what do you hope to impart on some of the other players on the pitching staff?
It's been a fun experience to kind of step in. We lost Grano early in the season with some just family things that he needed to take care of. So I, with Kenty and helping in the bullpen, I offered to just share my experience and just be there as the pitching coach to give Wardy another guy to help with the burden of that. And it's just been fun. It's been cool working with the guys and being able to share some of what I've learned in my time in the game.
Whenever your playing career comes to a close, do you see coaching as potentially part of your future?
I haven't really given it too much thought. This is my first foray into it. So it's been, I've really enjoyed it though. It's been something I will consider moving forward, but I feel like I've got a lot more in the tank left.
Next question is for Robbie Podorski. Robbie, you had a couple big hits, but the biggest impact that I think you made in this game was on the bases. In the 6th inning, you singled, stole second, took third on a wild pitch, and scored on a wild pitch. How does your aggressiveness play to your advantage, and how do you use that to help your team win ball games?
Well, I think I have a pretty good feel with knowing my type of gameplay, which is scrappy and 100%. So I just try to simplify as much as I can and try to bring a lot of energy, and good things usually happen.
Things got a little chippy there in the 6th inning, and I think you had the last laugh when you came in to score on that wild pitch that only got about 10, 15 feet away from home plate. What gave you the confidence in that read to make the break for the plate?
The third baseman was playing pretty far off, so that allowed me to get a pretty significant lead at third base. So, I mean, I was halfway to home plate before the pitch even crossed.
Finally, nice diving play in center, shallower center field here than perhaps you're accustomed to playing. Take me through that play and your ability to make the catch.
At that point, I kind of just let instincts take over. I try to get a good read, see where the pitch is located, and see what type of swing the hitter puts on it. That way I can get like a jump start on it, and I just trusted my instincts right there.
Pass the mic to Paul Campy.
Just for Keith, just in that hit by pitch third strike, he sat on the ground for a period of time. Was he okay?
Yeah, his knuckles are a little bit broken up a little bit, but you know, he's a pretty tough character. And to his credit, he dusted himself off and went out and wanted to go out there and play shortstop. So, you know, credit to him. He's like most of the guys, or all of the guys on our team. You know, they all bring something different, but the one thing that they do is play hard every day. They're blue collar guys, and you know, I love guys like that. So, really pleased that he could get up and go back out there so that he can hopefully come up okay tomorrow as well.
Our thanks to Robbie, JJ, Keith, and Philip. Coming up next in a few moments, we'll have the Bandits half of the postgame press conference.
Thanks.
The Brisbane Bandits postgame press conference, as we are joined by manager David Nielsen, along with Jay Myers, Jacob Nielsen, and Grant Kay. David, not quite the game that you were looking for as you looked for your 4th consecutive victory. We talked last night about how sharp the team looked both at the plate and in the field. What needed to be tightened up tonight?
Well, I think it was just a difficult night facing Pfeiffer. I mean, he was pretty dynamic on the mound, and you know, they swung the bats really well. I mean, they played really well. You know, they did a lot of things good, and we just couldn't contain them. You know, that was basically the story of the night. Their pitch was sharp. Anytime we had a little chance, he just put us away. So they had the momentum the whole night, and we just couldn't get that momentum back and, you know, tip your hat to them.
Both teams had their issues with the strike zone, and I suppose that's just a fact of life when you have so many at-bats over the course of a night. But what was your understanding of some of the more controversial moments in tonight's game?
Well, I mean, every moment looks different from each dugout, right? So from first base, it looks different if you're wearing black and yellow versus black and orange. So, there were some tough calls. I'll say that. Very tough calls, and some I thought they got right, and some I thought they didn't.
Any comment on the Zach Wilson hit by pitch in the 6th inning?
No, I've never seen that before. That's the easiest base hit he'll ever get, or anyone will ever get. So
what was that ruled down there?
Base hit.
It was ruled a base hit.
Yeah, so everyone thought it hit him, and I guess Mel said hit the end of the bat and went back to him. And as soon as it happened, Mel pointed to the mound like it was in play. I didn't understand what Mel was doing, but obviously everyone froze, including the hitter. And he jogged to first like he thought it was hit. But look, let's be clear, none of that stuff affected the game. So let's not make too big a deal over that stuff. They played really well, and they had some good moments, and we had some good moments. They beat us. So let's not get caught up in all that stuff.
All right. You've got 2 guys to your left who got a chance to get into the game tonight. At what point do you decide to move the game to the youth movement, and what did you like out of Jay and Jacob tonight?
Well, I thought Canberra really took control of the game around the 5th or 6th inning. So at that stage, I start looking towards tomorrow, and it's just a constant trying to develop players along the way. And whenever there's opportunities at work, Liam Taylor was also on the roster this weekend, and Wednesday night playing club ball, hit a ball on his foot, so he couldn't play. So I just tried to do my best to get everyone in there, and it worked out really well. Jay got the catch. He does a lot of the hard work for us in the bullpen, and over the years I've been able to get him some at bats. But I think it's always special to be able to get him behind the plate, especially at home. And same thing with Jacob. To get him some at bats, it's very difficult. Club ball's been off for a few weeks, so it's kind of dry. But I got him in right field, and the ball found him there, as it always does. So I always trying to get the young guys in there whenever opportunity comes up.
Next question is for Jacob. Got a chance to get into the game here, and you caught a fly ball. I know you've been through a lot over the last year and a half. It might be a common occurrence to you to just get on the field and play ball, but what does it mean to you to put on that Bandits uniform and get in a game?
It means a lot. I mean, I've grown up here, watched the guys play here and grow up with them, so it's like a big family, and getting to join that family in a sense means a lot to me. So yeah.
Jay Myers, I know you put a lot of sweat equity into this team. You're in the bullpen catching some of these guys, and you got a chance to get into the game. Had a pretty good at bat in the 7th inning, drawing a walk. I know it has to be quite tempting to swing at anything close and try and get a hit, but take me through that at bat.
Just tried to be aggressive. Didn't want to give away too many strikes. Just went up there swinging, and just was patient enough to just leave the ball, but I was up there swinging.
Next question is for Grant Kay. Grant, you got your first couple hits out of the way, and I know that was a long time coming for you. Even though you'd hit the ball hard a few times, how good did it feel to get those out of the way?
Oh, it felt great just to get that first one, so now I can relax and just have some fun out there.
I know you wanted to get your first ball out of circulation, and eventually we got that taken care of. Any more to the story that we should know about regarding that?
Oh, I didn't even know what was going on, really. I guess I'll take that ball back to my family, though.
The Vandy guy didn't want to give the ball to the Louisville guy, but I guess we got it back in the dugout.
Yeah, there's something wrong with that.
Defensively, you've been a great help to this team as you've tried to solidify second base. How has your adjustment been to the Australian League, getting settled in Australian life, and trying to play an elite level of baseball all throughout that time?
It was a rough first couple of days for me. I got sick right when I got here, and then it just took a little bit to get going, but hopefully I can just keep moving forward and get better every day.
Next question is from Paul Gonzalez.
David, just for you, with matchups tomorrow, you've got doubleheader, 2:30 and 6 o'clock. Who do you have going in Game 1?
Yeah, Tim Atherton Game 1, Travis Blackley Game 2. So obviously feeling pretty good, and I know they're going to be throwing some arms at us tomorrow, so it should be a pretty good day.
I guess, and then the big question, he's kind of your utility go-to guy, and he's been probably your most productive offensive player with Dutton. How is he looking? Is he day-to-day, or how is he going to progress?
Yeah, it's a tough one. As a late scratch, just his neck, one of them ones you wake up and you just can't shake it. So he was in a pretty bad way. Hopefully he feels better tomorrow. And again, with a little bit short with the development players, Liam Taylor and even Nate Van Can struggling. So we had a late change, and just took another right-handed bat out of the lineup. But the thing about Wade, he brings so much energy to the game. He just loves to play, and we miss that energy tonight. Hopefully, it's there tomorrow.
Thank you, guys.
Right.
Next question is for Paul Campion.
And just for the young guys, Jay and Jacob, just this taste of the Bandits this evening must make you hungry, mate. But what do you say to Dave? Give me another crack.
No, I'm just grateful for every opportunity possible, and I'm here to learn and sit around and do my time, and then whenever the time comes, if it ever happens, I'm going to be ready for it.
Yeah, I mean, every chance you get, you want to give it your best shot. So you get as prepared as you can. You watch the guys, learn the craft, and give it your best shot.
Congratulations.
Our thanks to Jacob, Jay, Grant, and David for their cooperation in our post-game press conference. The Bandits are set for a big doubleheader on Saturday as they wrap up round 8 against the Canberra Cavalry. First pitch of Game 1 is at 2:30 with a 9-inning game at 6 o'clock to follow. We'd love to see you here at the ballpark, but if you can't make it, join us on Bandits.tv for the broadcast. This concludes our stream. Thanks for watching.